This page is the vibrant cover of SEGA Saturn magazine, featuring a dynamic illustration of Sonic the Hedgehog racing forward, highlighting the magazine's lead story. The main focus is a massive 24-page supersonic scoop on Sonic Adventure, detailing the new era of Sonic on the upcoming Dreamcast console. Based on the August 22 presentation, beyond the extensive Sonic coverage, the magazine promises an exclusive information storm, including detailed announcements for 2 Hudson titles also on Dreamcast. There's a prominent feature on EGG, produced by Red Company, and a title called To the North. The cover also teases coverage of the latest Saturn software, listing games like Ruro no Yuki, She's Mun, 6-inch My Darling, and Cotton Boomerang. Additionally, there are strategy guide highlights for titles such as Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Greed, Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, Roidoya, Slayer's Wonderful, featuring Street Fighter characters, Noel 3, and Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. It's clear this issue is packed with previews and information covering both the current Saturn scene and the exciting future of the Dreamcast. This page features a highly anticipated tactical simulation RPG, Walkenroder. The game is set in a unique fantasy steampunk world, featuring a full polygonal multi-layered map structure with interactive gimmicks to enhance the gameplay. The story follows Lucian, a twin from the slums whose sister is afflicted by a mysterious illness called light fear, leading him on a quest for revenge. Screenshots display the isometric tactical combat view,
showing character sprites and the environment, alongside character art and atmospheric imagery of the game's world, including what appears to be a futuristic train. Notable staff involved in the project include renowned artists Ranji Murata for character designs, Takayuki Takeya for special mecha designs, and Yoshitoshi Abe for image illustrations. The main theme music was composed by Ian MacDonald, a former member of King Crimson. The page confirms that Walkenroder is now on sale for 5,800 yen, excluding tax, and is compatible with the power memory accessory for saving game progress. There's also a small note advertising the Sagata Sanshiro theme song CD release. This page features a full-page illustration that captures the dark, industrial atmosphere of the game Walkenroder, which was highlighted on the previous page. The artwork, created by Gonzo, shows a striking character in the foreground, with a large, imposing mechanical or organic structure looming in the background, under a smoky orange sky. The vertical Japanese text dramatically states, "This city was ruled by steel and smoke." The overall image perfectly embodies the steampunk setting and gritty tone of Walkenroders, providing a visually impactful representation of its world. The page also includes standard SEGA Enterprises, contact information, and website details. This page announces the release of Capcom Generation Volume 1, The Age of the Ace Pilot. The collection features the revival of classic Capcom arcade shooting games. Volume 1 specifically includes the legendary titles 1942, 1943, and 1943 Kai. These games were cornerstones of the arcade scene, known for their challenging vertical scrolling airplane combat. The page features a large, stylized photo of a room with clothing, a double bass, and artwork, perhaps suggesting the cultural context, or a collector's room. Below, the text highlights that these masterpieces are being revived.
A small screenshot gives a glimpse of the action from 1942. The collection was set to be released on August 27.
This page continues the announcement of the Capcom Generation series, titled Capcom Generation, with the overlying theme, It Was Youth. Following the release of Volume 1 featuring classic shooters, this page details the subsequent 4 volumes releasing over 5 consecutive months. Volume 2, Demon World and Knights, bundles the legendary Ghosts in Goblins, Ghouls in Ghosts, and Super Ghouls in Ghosts, set for September 23. Volume 3, History Begins Here, includes arcade classics Vulgus, Sunsen, XX's, and Higemaru, releasing on October 15. Volume 4, Solitary Hero, brings the action with Commando, Mercs, and Gun.Smoke in November. Finally, Volume 5, Fighters, delivers the iconic Street Fighter II, Street Fighter II Champion Edition, and Street Fighter II Turbo, Hyperfighting in December. The page also promotes a campaign where collecting all 5 volumes earns you an exclusive original stand rack to display the collection. The background imagery of a room with a bed, TV, and personal items reinforces the nostalgic theme of revisiting classic games from one's youth.
SEGA Saturn Magazine, Volume 25, September 1998, features a cover focusing on Tails, reflecting its major content. The issue's highlight is a 21-page special on Sonic Adventure, P26, previewing the Dreamcast title. Another substantial feature, P52, explores Elemental Gimmick Gear, an action RPG, also with 21 pages of content. Other notable features include a preview of Kita E, White Illumination, 133, a genre game with dating sim elements, and Dreamcast coverage, including Godzilla Generations, P50, and Dreamcast Now, P142, and Dreamcast Now. The magazine also addresses the Neo Geo Pocket, P145. Unique content includes a special project, P10, dedicated to Sega TV commercials, featuring Senior Managing Director, Yukawa, with an interview. The issue concludes with the ongoing Theory, Extreme Theory, Virtual On, Part 4, P196, part of the magazine's series on Cybertroopers Virtual On Oratorio Tangram. This table of contents highlights key features and game listings for a Sega Saturn magazine. It teases upcoming announcements in SEGA Saturn Press and covers several games in Special Report, including Pia EU Koso 2 and Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. Coming soon soft previews anticipated releases like Ruro no Yuki, while new release title announces recent drops like Capcom Generation Volume 2. The issue also includes a SEGA Saturn Soft Complete Guide and a Game Technique Laboratory for tips. Special features cover the Sakura Taisen Musical Wings and Falcom Classics 2. The Game Index alphabetically lists covered games, such as Black/Matrix and Shining Force 2i. The magazine also includes news, reader content, previews, and features Sonic the Hedgehog artwork. This page covers major events and merchandise surrounding popular games. It reports on the Tokyo Character Show, a large-scale event held at Tokyo Big Sight, which drew over 35,000 visitors with huge queues forming. The event was a massive success due to the overwhelming popularity of character goods from major titles like Sakura Wars, Virtua Fighter, Eve, and Imadoki no Vampire, with limited edition items being particularly sought after. The page also features an exhibition titled The World of Bakenrouter, showcasing a collaboration between artist Rangetsu Murata and sculptor Takayuki Takeya. This exhibition displays original artwork and character figures from the game and offers special limited merchandise. Complementing the exhibition, a strategy guide for Bakenrouter was released, providing a comprehensive look at the game's world and characters, including bonus artwork. Finally, readers have a chance to win signed illustrations by Rangetsu Murata, featuring characters from the game, Lulu and Adel. This page covers several exciting events and releases from the gaming and anime world. Sega made a big splash at the Summer Comiket Festival, setting up a Taishu Romandu booth dedicated to Sakura Wars, where fans snapped up popular goods like t-shirts and character stickers. Meanwhile, the Garage Kit event Wonder Festival showcased a wave of impressive new figures from Virtua On, including detailed models of popular mechs like Temjin and Feian. Sega also held a preview event for their upcoming Crane Game prizes, featuring items from fan-favorite titles like Sakura Wars 2 and Puyo Puyo, alongside figures and plushes from various anime and classic TV shows, proving there's something for everyone to grab. On the competitive front, the first ever Ajapa Cup Puyo Puyo tournament finals took place at Tokyo Joyopolis, drawing a large crowd and crowning a new champion after intense matches. In music news, a drama album for Langrisser V, titled The End of Legend Drama Album, was released, featuring a unique story and the series' familiar voice cast. Other events included an anime festival featuring talk shows with voice actors and an audition attraction at Namco Wonder Egg. Finally, the page announces the release of the OVA Getter Robo Armageddon and a chance for fans to win the video and a special mascot. Various calls for entries for arts and anime competitions are also mentioned. This page covers several exciting events and announcements. There was a release event for the latest game in the Dukoku series, held at Messe Sano in Akihabara, featuring exhibitions and premium goods. In other news,
The winners were announced for the in-store reservation campaign for Radiant Silvergun. The producer from Treasure visited the winner to personally deliver the grand prize, which was an arcade board and controller setup for the game. Tokyo Joytopolis is celebrating its second anniversary with a Love and Happy event featuring various promotions, including free entry and attractions, passes for those born on the anniversary date, and special gifts for early visitors. They are also launching a full-scale virtual wedding program, detailing the ceremony setup within the park's virtual church. The legendary character Sagata Sanshiro is making the jump to PC, with new game titles being released this autumn, including Sagata Sanshiro, Shinken Yugi, and Sagata Sanshiro, Superhuman Legends. Microsoft held their Meltdown Tokyo 98 summer event, showcasing the latest DirectX technology and Windows 98 compatibility, where upcoming Sega PC titles were tested. Finally, there's a rundown of new music releases from artists like Lacrima Christi, Globe, Grapevine, and The Mods, covering various genres like rock and pop. This page explores essential Sega Saturn literature, focusing on strategy guides and art books. It highlights popular books for games like Dukoku Soshite, Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, and others, indicating player preferences. The text then dives into specific guides. Official guides for Fighting Vipers 2 and Daytona USA 2 are featured, providing combat data and racing techniques, respectively. Guides for High School Terror Story, Langrisser V, The End of Legend, and Lunar 2, Eternal Blue are also mentioned, catering to RPG fans with lore and maps. Deep Fear receives a detailed guide, and a special guide for Makochi is noted as an introduction to sound novels. These resources offered walkthroughs, data, and maps, enhancing the gameplay experience across diverse genres on the Sega Saturn. This page features a special interview with Sega's managing director, Hidekazu Yukawa, who became famous for starring in the promotional TV commercials for the Dreamcast console. The main image shows Mr. Yukawa sitting at a desk with a Dreamcast logo behind him. The article discusses the Go Go Yukawa Managing Director CF series leading up to the Dreamcast launch, noting version 3 is coming soon. It describes the first two commercials, including screenshots from the Voice of a Certain Town chapter showing him interacting with people on the street, and the Dream chapter with filming locations. In the interview, Mr. Yukawa talks about his role at Sega in negotiation and distribution, and his involvement in boosting the Dreamcast company-wide. He expresses confidence in the Dreamcast's ability to blend entertainment and content. He feels the campaign, conceived by Yasushi Akimoto, is successfully creating buzz and getting attention, describing the goal as doing something different. He notes the positive public reaction, including being recognized on the street and even receiving suggestions for a Ganbare Yukawa Senmu game. A side panel analyzes the CF campaign, crediting Yasushi Akimoto with the concept and highlighting the strategic decision to use the real managing director to generate significant PR effect. A reader survey is also presented, indicating a largely positive reception to the Yukawa CFS. This page continues the special interview with Sega managing director Hidekazu Yukawa, known for starring in the iconic Dreamcast commercials. The article dives deeper into his thoughts on Sega's strategy and the Dreamcast launch. Mr. Yukawa discusses the challenges Sega faced getting into the home console market with systems like the SG-1000 and SC-3000, and how appearing in the commercials was a strategic move to gain attention and communicate Sega's character, leveraging his face-to-face approach. He believes the campaign has been very effective. He emphasizes that the entire Sega group is focused on the Dreamcast. Reflecting on his time at Sega since the CSK acquisition, he credits meeting President Okawa as a significant positive influence. He describes President Okawa's warmth and guidance, which strengthened his belief in doing things passionately. Mr. Yukawa sees Sega evolving into a comprehensive entertainment company. While acknowledging the perception of constant change, he believes Sega should be fun, surprising, and distinct from competitors like PlayStation. He expresses his strong desire that the Dreamcast provides a wide range of entertainment options, including network play, and that in a year's time, people will simply say, "Dreamcast is interesting." A profile section notes Hidekazu Yukawa's age, 55 at the time, joining Sega in 1984, his various roles, and his personal interests, including a fondness for Sega action and racing games. The page features a portrait photograph of Mr. Yukawa. The SEGA Saturn magazine's weekly data station highlights 4 new releases between August 22nd and 28th. Black/Matrix,
a strategic RPG, offers a unique take on morality, challenging the concept of good and evil. Players distribute experience and use bloody points for magic. Jaleco presents a special edition of Super Pie Adventure Doki Doki Heart Nightmare, an adult-oriented romance adventure with a focus on saving a girl from a nightmare, featuring date simulations and minigames. Capcom's Capcom Generations Volume 1 compiles classic arcade shooters 1942, 1943, and 1943 Kai, including bonus artwork and customization options. Lastly, 2GLEL's How to Become a Magician is an RPG where players, choosing from 3 female protagonists, learn magic through lessons, exploration, and spell practice.
This page from SEGA Saturn Magazine dives straight into the upcoming release schedule, a crucial resource for any serious Saturn fan back then. It starts by providing a handy key for understanding the listings, covering genres like action, RPG, adventure, simulation, and more, alongside compatible features such as the analog controller, mouse, light gun, and multiplayer adapters. The main focus is the extensive list of games slated for release from September 1997 onwards, stretching out into the future. It's packed with titles across various genres, showcasing the diverse lineup the Saturn boasted. We see popular series making appearances, like Slayers Royal 2, Suikoden, Shining Force 2 Eyes Scenario 3, The King of Fighters Best Collection, and compilations like Capcom Generations and Falcom Classics. There are also highly anticipated sequels and ports, such as Strikers 1945 2, Magical Drop 2 Eyes, and even tentative listings for Virtua Fighter 3, Resident Evil 2, and Rayman 2. The list includes niche titles, simulation games, and even creative tools like Simulation RPG Maker. It gives a real sense of the volume and variety of software coming to the console, with many titles marked as undecided, showing how release schedules could shift. Special mention goes to quirky entries like Sagata Senshiro Shinken Yugi and the extensive Starting Odyssey series planned for the future. Overall, it's a comprehensive look at the exciting wave of games hitting the Saturn, promising something for every type of player. This page presents the weekly SEGA Saturn software sales ranking, the Shop Data Top 15. The editorial comment notes that while the summer holiday season is reflected in the data, sales numbers this year are a bit tougher compared to last year, but there are still plenty of fun games to play. It also encourages players to finish games they haven't completed to avoid regrets. At the top of the chart, Lunar 2. Eternal Blue holds the #1 spot, climbing from second place, and is commented on for its continued strong sales, aiming towards 100,000 units. Following closely at number 2 is Bakenkader, a new RPG release with character designs by Renji Murata, whose sales figures are up for consideration given its timing. Deep Fear, a survival horror title, drops slightly to third but is highlighted for its steady sales performance as a sign of a quality game. Other new entries making a splash in the top 10 include Pro Yakyu, Greatest 998 Summer Action at 4th, Oju-sama Express at 5th, Lupin the 3rd, The Sage of the Pyramid at 7th, and Dukoku Soshite, Final Edition at 8th. These newer titles are mixed with established sellers like Madu Monogatari and Mobile Suit Gundam, Gihrin's Greed. Further down the list, fan favorites like Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, and Radiant Silvergun continue to feature, showing their lasting appeal among Saturn owners.
Based on user anticipation data, this article highlights the top 30 most wanted SEGA Saturn games. The rankings, influenced by upcoming Dreamcast releases, anticipate a strong autumn season. The top 3 games are Pia Carrot Ayukoso 2, first, with 100% development. Martian successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, second, a romance-infused game, and Friends Brilliance of Youth, third, featuring gameplay and scenario updates. Other anticipated titles include Virtua Fighter Kids, Virtua Fighter 3, Resident Evil 2, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Suikoden, and Sonic the Fighters. Dedicated previews are given to Densha to Go X, a train simulator with new features, and Etude Prologue Forms of a Wavering Heart, slated for a late November release. Additionally, Noel 3 is teased for its 10th story. The next page is an advertisement for the OVA series Getter Robo, The Last Day of the World. It features the iconic Shin Getter 1 robot, alongside key characters like Ryo Nagare and Hayato Jin, with smaller screenshots showing various robot forms and action sequences. The ad promotes this as a completely new OVA exclusive to video, showcasing the return of Shin Getter, Old Getter, and Old Getter Dragon for intense, combining super robot action. It details the first volume, titled Resurrection: The Evil Fortress SATURN Research Lab, as part of a 7-volume series originally released in 1998. Highlights include bonus promotional footage, a special low price, and early purchase bonuses like a Getter Chance, plus a campaign tied to Emotion's 15th anniversary. This page presents the reader ranking for SEGA Saturn games, compiled from reader votes and their average scores, or AWS as the magazine calls it. This is a staple feature where readers rate the games they own, and the cumulative average score changes in real time as more votes come in. As of August 28th, the ranking includes a total of 1048 released Saturn titles. Highlighting the top of the list, we see games like Sakura Wars 2, A Girl Who Chants Love at the Bound of This World, the adult version, Grandia, Digital Museum, and Myst securing high positions based on reader feedback. The ranking continues down several columns, showcasing a wide variety of genres, from RPGs and adventure games to shooters and fighting games. A small section notes that the latest ranking reflects votes collected over 3 weeks due to a break, and specifically mentions Luna 2, Eternal Blue, which debuted at rank 25 and is expected to climb higher, accompanied by a screenshot of a character from the game. The magazine emphasizes that new software frequently enters this dynamic ranking, encouraging readers to participate and help evaluate the entire Saturn library. This page reviews new software releases, focusing on Luna 2, Eternal Blue, a remake of the Mega CD RPG. Reception is mixed. Some love its story and animation upgrades, finding it easier to play, while others criticize simplified dungeons, changes from the original, missing scenes, and technical issues. Despite these differences, readers gave it a high 9.35 score compared to the magazine's 8.66. 2 showdown titles are also examined. Oju Tokyu, an adventure game, is praised for its scenario, setting, characters, and subtle choices, scoring 8.89 readers and 7.33 staff. Madu Monogatari, an RPG, is criticized for losing its series atmosphere, lacking character development, and slow battles, with scores of 8.82 readers and 7.0 staff. The page also features an ongoing AWS ranking table of SEGA Saturn titles. This article reviews several SEGA Saturn games, highlighting reader and staff opinions. Radiant Silvergun, a highly rated shooter, excels in action and atmosphere, though its weapon system proved challenging for some. The Konami Antiques MSX Collection Volume 1 offers nostalgic value, while Sega ages.
Galaxy Force 2 received mixed reviews due to control limitations. Code HER, a blend of adventure and racing, shows promise with satisfying mechanics, but suffers from unclear story triggers. 2 romance simulation titles, High School Terra Story and Oju-sama o Nere, received low scores due to outdated systems, forced progression, and poor execution. The article also references the ongoing AWS ranking and briefly touches upon upcoming Sakura Taisen titles. This page continues the AWS ranking for SEGA Saturn games, listing titles from the high 400s down into the 800s. It presents a broad spectrum of the console's library, showcasing the diverse tastes of the readers and the magazine's scoring system across various genres, ranging from action and racing to RPGs and puzzles. The focus here is on providing a comprehensive list, rather than detailed reviews of individual games. Prominently featured at the bottom right is a countdown related to an exciting upcoming release, likely Shin Sakura Taisen based on previous pages. Titled, How Many Days Until the Life of the Emperor of the Century's End, Death, is 84 Days? It teases the game with a dramatic image featuring characters, building anticipation for its launch. This ties into the magazine's ongoing coverage of major Saturn titles. A small editorial comment at the bottom left adds a lighthearted touch, potentially reflecting on the rankings or hinting at future content. This page dives into previews of upcoming SEGA Saturn games and reader-driven content. The next race scheduled section previews 4 diverse titles. Back and Loader, SLG plus RPG 7.0 average, noted for its unique sledging feature. Astral Superstars, Act 7.33 average, praised for its smooth characters and fun combat-impacting endings. Pro Yaku Greatest 998 Summer Action, highlighting the enjoyable Become a Pro mode. And Lupin III, The Sage of the Pyramid,
Act 7.0 average, described as a decent action game enjoyable for Lupin fans despite coarse graphics. Reader voices are heard and voice of the owner, with brief comments on games. A significant portion focuses on reader participation through contests, predicting the initial ranking of new games like Black/Matrix, and the average reader score, Oz, for titles like Slayer's Royal 2. The results from previous predictions for Lunar 2, Eternal Blue and Radiant Silvergun are shown. The page also outlines how readers can join the ranking by submitting reviews and participating in these contests, with a deadline of September 8th. Finally, a special presents section details a prize giveaway featuring SEGA Saturn peripherals, like controllers and joysticks along with software, encouraging participation. A chart listing weekly SEGA Saturn peripherals and their scores is also included. This page highlights the upcoming SEGA Saturn dating simulation game, Virtual Call S, developed by Kid. The page features vibrant artwork of two of the game's heroines, one with blue hair and the other with pink, both in distinctive fantasy-style uniforms, giving a clear visual representation of the game's aesthetic. Virtual Call S is a Bishoujo Renee simulation, or beautiful girl dating simulation, expected to launch on October 29th. It will be available in two editions: a standard single-disc version priced at 6,300 yen, excluding tax, and a limited two-disc edition. The limited edition comes with a special bonus called Yobikake-kun, literally, caller-kun. The text explains, "This is a sweet voice feature, where a voice actor calls out your name, selected from about 300 pre-recorded names, intended to enhance emotional immersion." Additionally, players who reserve the game can receive a special mini-diary as a reservation present. An application form for this reservation bonus is included on the page, detailing the process, which involves getting a store stamp and mailing in a postcard by the November 14th deadline. This definitely adds incentive for early adoption. This page from Dreamcast magazine highlights several exciting upcoming titles for the Dreamcast console. Prominently featured is the highly anticipated Sonic Adventure, with artwork showing key characters Amy, Rose, and Knuckles, along with circular portraits of Tails and Big the Cat, hinting at their roles in the game. The page mentions a thorough pursuit of all details regarding the newborn Sonic following a press conference. Other featured games include Godzilla Generations, marking the first public appearance of Manila and G-Force, and Elemental Gimmick Gear, EGG, presented with a storm of exclusive information and detailed announcements for 100 titles. There's also coverage of Kitakami, White Illumination, a visual novel produced by Red Company. The page also announces the establishment of a new corner, the Dreamcast Data Station, and a section dedicated to Dreamcast news titled Dreamcast Now. Interestingly, there's also a mention of the Neo Geo Pocket, suggesting the magazine covers other gaming systems to some extent. This issue is listed as 1998/Volume 3, covering the period of September 11th to 18th, and notably had a special price of 0 yen, indicating it might have been a promotional or early issue to build hype for the console's launch. This page introduces the Dreamcast Data Station, highlighting anticipated titles for the console set to launch in 84 days. The top 3 most anticipated games are featured, with D2 taking the top spot despite its dedicated article being absent. This issue, followed closely by Sonic Adventure, hailed as the future standard for its comprehensive coverage. Mercurius Pretty rounds out the top 3, noted for its vibrant, high-resolution event scenes. A table lists scheduled release titles, providing tentative details like release windows, publishers, and genres for games such as Seventh Cross, Pen Pen Trialon, Sengoku Turb, Godzilla Generations, and more, including those in the top 3. The pickup section highlights Kitakami, White Illumination as a new entry in the ranking, described as a bittersweet youth story. The Coming Soon section features Elemental Gimmick Gear, noting its development status and hinting at its action RPG gameplay with 3D boss battles, building on the previous page's announcement. Finally, a user data top 10 ranking provides a broader look at anticipated titles based on reader surveys, reinforcing the popularity of games like D2, Sonic Adventure, and Mercurius Pretty, along with others like Monster Breed, Godzilla Generations, and Kitakami. White Illumination, showcasing the diverse lineup generating buzz. Dreamcast enthusiasts are eager for ports of their favorite games. A user ranking reveals the top 20 desired titles, including Virtua Fighter, Final Fantasy, Sakura Wars, and Grandia, demonstrating demand beyond arcade conversions. The article highlights the appeal of high-quality arcade ports, with Sega Rally 2 and Knights receiving speculative reproduction rates. Simultaneously, the Video Game Shop Data Top 15 showcases the arcade scene dominated by Sega fighting and sports titles, such as Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Virtua Striker 2 Feet 98, alongside Capcom and Namco hits. This week's featured game highlights the newly released Soul Calibur, praised for its innovative 3D fighting mechanics, including the 8-way run system. A brief, one-point check game section previews Virtual on Oratorio Tangram and Get Bass. This page reports on a massive event related to Sega's upcoming Dreamcast console and its flagship title, Sonic Adventure. Huge headlines declare, 15,000 people witness, and super big hit 8.22 supersonic speed-breaking news, referring to the August 22nd event. Visuals show a massive crowd queuing outside a building, banners for Sonic Adventure, and attendees inside the venue. The text details the Sonic Adventure production announcement meeting, which took place on August 22nd, Saturday, at the Yurakucho Tokyo International Forum Hall A. It highlights the immense interest from both game users and industry professionals to see what Sega's strongest development team, Sonic Team, could create, utilizing the Dreamcast's power. The event was so popular that lines formed from early morning. Although originally planned for fewer attendees, Sega responded to the overwhelming demand by adding additional showings, ultimately accommodating 15,000 attendees who witnessed the latest footage of Sonic Adventure. The article emphasizes the excitement generated by this first look at the highly anticipated game, which was announced to be released later in the year for the Dreamcast. The magazine promises a rapid follow-up report on the event's details. This page continues the coverage of the massive Dreamcast and Sonic Adventure reveal event, asking if the excitement can truly be conveyed. It reports on the overwhelming positive response from attendees, with a high percentage satisfied and expressing interest in purchasing the game. The article details the event's beginning, featuring a CG appearance of Sega president Shoichiro Irimajiri, before he takes the stage in person to speak about the capabilities and charm of the upcoming Dreamcast console. A major focus is placed on Sonic Adventure, described as a super spectacle high-speed role-playing action, highlighting the global success of the Sonic franchise coming to the new platform. The page notes the game includes varied environments like a city, jungle, ruins, and an aircraft carrier, and mentions that Sonic team head, Yuji Naka, also appeared to discuss the title, which was lauded as exceeding expectations. This page continues the report on the massive Dreamcast and Sonic Adventure reveal event, focusing on the dramatic appearance of Sonic team head, Yuji Naka. His entrance is described as incredibly flashy, featuring a huge banner and a balloon explosion, living up to the hype he had built beforehand. The event also showcased a video titled Sonic Team Story, detailing the team's research trip to South America 2 years prior, and how that experience influenced the game's development. A significant reveal was the KO, an artificial life form, a life subgame within Sonic Adventure, highlighting its growth possibilities and interaction potential, possibly hinting at uses with the VMU. The event was also groundbreaking for its time, being broadcast live over the internet from Part 2 onwards, reaching a global audience. The page also displays various new Sonic character goods available, including t-shirts, pin badges, posters, and clear cases, while attendees received a special souvenir bag with postcards. This page continues the report on the massive Sonic Adventure reveal event for Dreamcast, highlighting the world premiere of live demo gameplay. Director Takashi Iizuka took the stage to demonstrate the game on the Dreamcast hardware, showcasing 3 distinct environments: Ice Cap, Red Mountain, and Speed Highway. Adding an interactive element, a sound sensor measured the audience's applause to determine which scene would be played next, creating a dynamic experience that energized the crowd. The event was also broadcast live over the internet, continuing its pioneering coverage. The page features interviews with 2 industry figures who shared their impressions. Game creator Koichi Nakamura from Chunsoft was deeply impressed by the game's sense of speed and visual impact, particularly praising the camera work during dynamic scenes like a flooded city and the highway loop. Game analyst Kazukazu Hirabayashi from Interact felt the game set a future standard, expressing excitement for 3D Sonic on Dreamcast and highlighting the impressive camera angles and lighting, especially in night and cave scenes. Both professionals were clearly eager to play the game themselves. This page continues the exciting report from the Sonic Adventure reveal event, covering the interactive Sonic Call segment, where the audience joined Sagata Sanshiro, portrayed by Hiroshi Fujioka,
in recording cheers for a scene in the game. The event was also broadcast live online, showcasing the pioneering reach of the Dreamcast. The report then details the electrifying finale, featuring a live performance by the SEGA Sound team, led by Jun Senue, wielding a custom sonic guitar. Their rock-infused performance highlighted the game's theme of betrayal in a creative sense, moving away from previous musical styles and perfectly complementing the new sonic sound image. Finally, the page presents the results of a survey given to attendees. Overall satisfaction was remarkably high, with most guests reporting that attending was a great experience. When asked what was the best part of the event, the stunning visuals and the live demonstration of Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast hardware were the clear favorites. Anticipation for the game is through the roof, with a high average score reflecting strong purchase intent, especially after seeing the impressive Perfect Chaos boss. This page continues the extensive coverage of the Sonic Adventure reveal event, picking up as the press conference concluded. A special queue and a session was held with reporters, addressing key questions about the highly anticipated title. When asked if Sonic Adventure would be a launch title for the Dreamcast console, the developers confirmed it was still under development and not planned for the console's initial launch, though Sonic himself is involved in launch plans. They acknowledged development challenges, particularly with harnessing the Dreamcast's cutting-edge hardware, but expressed confidence in hitting the planned November 20th target, while admitting some flexibility might be necessary. They emphasized the significant leap in graphical performance compared to PSX at the time. A major announcement revealed Sonic Adventure would finally be playable for the public at Tokyo Game Show 98 in October, building immense excitement. Photos capture the energy of the event, showing key Sega and Sonic team figures, including Sonic creator Yuji Naka, alongside the beloved Sonic and Tails costume characters, who were a huge hit with attendees. The page also shares feedback gathered from fans at the event. The comments are overwhelmingly positive, with attendees expressing amazement at the game's visuals and speed, highlighting the power of the Dreamcast. Many were thrilled by the live event itself, including the Sonic Call segment and seeing the characters brought to life. There's clear anticipation for the game and the console's future.
Get ready, because the next page promises a massive reveal of the game's incredible screens.
The next page blasts off with an incredible reveal. Following the high-speed press conference, we're now getting a non-stop, supersonic unveiling of the game screens. This page prominently features Sonic Adventure, billed as Sonic Team's highly anticipated first title for the Dreamcast. The main visual is a massive, stylish graphic showcasing the completely redesigned Sonic, embodying the reborn Sonic theme highlighted by the vertical text. His pose and expression convey a new level of confidence and attitude. Basic details confirm the game is an action title from Sega/Sonic Team for the Dreamcast, scheduled for release towards the end of the year, with the price still undecided. The small text near the bottom right reinforces the renewal Sonic theme, describing the new design as cool and full of dynamic energy. Inside the large Sonic graphic are lyrics from the game's iconic theme song, Open Your Heart, further emphasizing the fresh start. This page sets the stage, promising that the visual showcase of Sonic Adventure truly begins now. Sonic Adventure is a complete rebirth of the Sonic franchise, a project years in the making. This article explores the game's immense scope, promising the strongest Sonic world in history. It features a brand new world to explore, encompassing diverse environments from bustling cities to icy mountains. The game introduces multiple playable characters, including returning favorites and new additions like Big the Cat and E102 Gamma. Each character boasts a unique story, intertwined with others, offering varied gameplay experiences. The article highlights an accessible game system, innovative camera work, and Dreamcast-optimized controls. Vivid screenshots showcase the detailed 3D environments and characters. The feature concludes with a preview of an upcoming interview with the development team. This page delves into the making of Sonic Adventure, subtitled, Birth of the Reborn Sonic. It highlights that this is the first main Sonic game from the core Sonic team in 4 years, designed specifically for the new Dreamcast hardware. The big theme for this latest work is bringing back the cool Sonic, returning to the character's origin rather than the cute portrayal seen more recently. The article features an interview with producer Yuji Naka, who passionately discusses his aspirations for this reborn Sonic, promising content that surpasses expectations. Screenshots show Sonic in dynamic city environments, hinting at the new settings players will explore. This is the first part of a series exploring the game. This page continues the deep dive into Sonic Adventure, building on the previous discussion of its development
as a reborn Sonic game for the Dreamcast. It highlights the exciting news that, for the first time, Sonic and his friends will be talking characters, primarily speaking Japanese, with subtitles to make the story accessible to younger players. The article also touches upon the project's origins, referencing earlier SEGA Saturn titles like Sonic Jam and Sonic AR, as crucial steps in the evolution towards a fully 3D Sonic game. It reveals that Sonic Adventure was even initially conceived with RPG elements. The experimental 3D environment, featured in Sonic Jam on the Saturn, is noted as a vital testing ground for the new 3D mechanics. Furthermore, the page details the significant visual overhaul, or renewal, of the characters, showcasing the modern Sonic design compared to his classic look, and reinforcing the goal of bringing back a cool aesthetic. The challenges and effort involved in creating the detailed 3D environments, like the realistic cityscapes seen in screenshots, are also discussed, emphasizing the impressive lighting and direction, despite the difficulty of modeling for Sonic's immense speed. The images feature shots from Sonic Jam, Sonic SAR, Sonic World, and a look at the character design changes. New Sonic Adventure World introduces a thrilling narrative. Eggman's ambition to initiate the greatest adventure in history sets the stage. The story begins with Sonic encountering a mysterious liquid life form in a city, sparking the adventure. The game emphasizes its diverse cast and large stages, including the new Eggman's Flying Fortress, Egg Carrier, a flying fortress designed by Eggman. The plot involves Eggman's plan to use the liquid creature, Chaos, enhanced by Chaos Emeralds, to destroy the city and build Eggman Land. Sonic and his friends rise against Eggman's plans, leading to an epic battle. The core gameplay features Sonic and his friends' quest for the 7 Chaos Emeralds. This quest culminates in a grand adventure with 6 intertwining stories. The overall tone reflects the excitement and scope of the game's narrative. This page continues the deep dive into Sonic Adventure, kicking off by introducing a brand new enemy unlike any seen before: the mysterious liquid life form known as Chaos. This ancient creature, apparently unleashed by Dr. Eggman and tied to the power of the Chaos Emeralds, presents a formidable challenge, able to transform and grow stronger, including a menacing beast-like form shown here. The page also highlights the game's ambitious structure, featuring 6 distinct protagonists: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, E102 Gamma, and Big the Cat. Each character has their own storyline and objectives, running concurrently on the same timeline. The zapping system allows players to experience these interwoven narratives, with the Sonic team emphasizing how the different perspectives connect and reveal the larger story. We also get a glimpse of the diverse environments, showcasing the vibrant city stage Speed Highway and the ancient ruins of Lost World. This page delves further into the cast of Sonic Adventure, starting with an introduction to the main man himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. The feature highlights his dynamic return, emphasized by the bold title proclaiming him more cool, more wild. It notes that while his personality remains the same, his design has been updated to allow for more expressive movement, with character designer Yuji Uekawa specifically mentioning the change to green eyes as a way to utilize the Dreamcast's color capabilities. As for gameplay, Sonic's objective is centered around tracking down the mysterious liquid life form, Chaos, and stopping Drive Eggman's scheme to take over the city. The core gameplay loop remains true to the series' roots, speeding through stages, defeating enemies in your path, and aiming for the goal. A key new addition highlighted is the incredibly convenient homing attack, allowing Sonic to target foes straight from a jump. The page is visually supported by action-packed screenshots, showing Sonic racing through familiar yet reimagined environments like the Speed Highway, snowboarding down the slopes of Ice Cap, and navigating the treacherous ruins of Lost World. It sets the stage for Sonic's updated look and thrilling gameplay in his inaugural Dreamcast adventure. This page turns the spotlight onto Sonic's loyal sidekick, Miles Tails Prower, introducing him as the focus character after Sonic. Known since Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Tails is highlighted as Sonic's trusted partner, but here it's mentioned that he may also act on his own at times. His gameplay objective is unique. Rather than just reaching the goal, Tails aims to catch up to and even overtake Sonic, relying on his mechanical genius, like his transforming plane the Tornado, and his ability to fly using his twin tails. Character designer Yuji Uekawa comments on Tails' updated look, stating that his cuteness was emphasized, but in a direction distinct from Amy's, focusing more on an innocent charm, rather than just being childlike. The page features screenshots showing Tails flying in the tornado with Sonic and running through colorful futuristic environments, hinting at his independent adventures. Despite his speed not matching Sonic's, Tails' flight offers a unique advantage, and his dream is to one day finally surpass the speedster he admires. The next page introduces the third playable character in the Dreamcast's highly anticipated Sonic Team title, Knuckles the Echidna. Known as the Guardian of the Master Emerald, Knuckles' objective in this adventure is distinct from Sonic and Tails. Following the shattering of the Master Emerald, his mission is to explore stages and recover the scattered pieces through treasure hunting. His signature abilities from previous games, like his powerful digging and wall climbing, are central to his gameplay, allowing players to uncover hidden items and explore areas inaccessible to others. The page features a large illustration of Knuckles alongside screenshots, showing him climbing walls and performing attacks. Gameplay is described as focusing on finding hidden treasures, with the digging ability highlighted as a key mechanic for discovering secrets. Character designer Yuji Uekawa is noted as commenting on Knuckles' updated look, emphasizing his powerful actions and cool poses in the new engine. This page solidifies Knuckles' role as the exploration-focused character, offering a different pace and objective compared to the speed-centric Sonic and the aerial Tails. The next page introduces the fourth playable character in the highly anticipated Sonic adventure for the Dreamcast, Amy Rose. Known for her ardent affections for Sonic since her debut in Sonic CD, Amy receives a significant redesign for this title. The magazine highlights her new look, described as a cute high school girl style by character designer Yuji Uekawa, featuring short hair and a dress, marking a complete renewal of the character. Unlike her previous appearances where she might chase Sonic, Amy's gameplay theme in Sonic Adventure is escape. She finds herself in the unusual position of being pursued, her main objective involving protecting a small flicky bird from Dr. Eggman's robots and escaping various areas. While her primary goal is evasion, the page notes she can also counterattack with her signature Pico Pico hammer. Screenshots show Amy in a prison-like environment, being approached by a robot, underscoring her changed circumstances. This shift in focus offers a unique survival and protection-based playstyle, distinct from the speed, aerial, and treasure hunting gameplay of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles respectively. The next page introduces the fifth playable character in Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast, Big the Cat. Described as a laid-back and gentle giant cat, Big lives a quiet life fishing with his companion, a frog named Froggy, near ancient ruins. His adventure begins when Froggy swallows a Chaos Emerald and vanishes, prompting Big to embark on a journey with his trusty fishing rod and lure to find him. Unlike the high-speed action of Sonic, the aerial freedom of Tails, the treasure hunting of Knuckles, or the escape focus of Amy, Big's gameplay revolves entirely around fishing. The developer notes that while Sonic is a busy game, Big was designed to provide a more relaxed play experience. Players will explore natural environments like ponds and rivers within Sonic stages, using Big's rod to catch various fish, aiming for the biggest catches. Screenshots show Big in watery areas, highlighting the serene setting for his fishing activities. The text also hints that the fishing rod might potentially be used for attacking. This diverse gameplay offering continues to showcase the varied experiences available in Sonic Adventure. The next page introduces the sixth playable character in Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast, E-102 Gamma. This character stands out in the Sonic series as a unique mech, a combat robot from Dr. Eggman's Egg 100 series. Interestingly, his program is said to have gone awry for some reason, adding an intriguing element to his story. Following the relaxed pace of Big the Cat's fishing introduced on the previous page, Gamma offers a completely different gameplay experience centered around exhilarating lock-on shooting. Players will engage in action shooting, targeting enemies with a lock-on beam from Gamma's head and unleashing continuous fire from his arm-mounted weapon. The text also suggests potential movement options like jet propulsion or hovering, promising dynamic gameplay. Screenshots show Gamma in action within game environments and facing off against Sonic and Amy, raising questions about whether he is an enemy or an ally. The developers note that Gamma features a brand new design for the game, distinct from previous robot characters like Metal Sonic, built around Eggman's signature red and black colors. This adds another layer of diverse gameplay to Sonic Adventure. This page delves into the core gameplay system of Sonic Adventure. The focus is on the game's accessible controls and diverse environments. It highlights three key areas: the adventure field, described as a hub world similar to an RPG castle where players can interact with other characters; The Egg Carrier, a unique location serving as an adventure field with features like a pool and monorail. And the Action Field, the main stages specific to each character, replayable once cleared. The controls are emphasized as simple, utilizing a lever and primarily 2 buttons, a departure from past Sonic titles in the new 3D space. The standard controls include a jump button, common to all characters, which also enables a homing attack after jumping. An action button allows for character-specific moves like Sonic's spin dash, Knuckles punch, Amy's hammer, or Gamma's shooting. The game promises a variety of actions through the combination of the lever and these buttons. Finally, it touches upon the movie scenes, noting they are inserted at necessary times in the story and feature high-quality visuals, leveraging the Dreamcast's capabilities. The overall message is that the game offers diverse environments and simple, engaging controls accessible to everyone. Sonic Adventure's level design prioritizes high-speed gameplay, using a consumption-type map that encourages constant forward movement. Despite this, levels are expansive, encouraging exploration. The game features a dynamic camera system designed to maintain speed and prevent disorientation, with automated angle adjustments for visual clarity. Character-specific controls provide diverse gameplay. While movement is consistent, the action button, B, triggers unique abilities for each of the 6 playable characters. Sonic uses spin dash and homing attack. Tails flies, Knuckles punches. Amy uses her hammer, Big fishes, and Gamma shoots. This streamlined control scheme, focusing on a few key buttons, contributes to the gameplay's depth and variety. The next page is part 5 of the extensive Sonic Adventure feature, focusing on the development process and inspiration behind the game. It features a prominent image of Big the Cat, one of the new playable characters introduced in the game. The main article includes an interview with producer Yuji Naka from Sonic Team, discussing the origins of Sonic Adventure's development. He reveals that ideas for the game began taking shape around the time they were working on Nights into Dreams for the SEGA Saturn, and the transition to the Dreamcast hardware allowed them to realize their vision. A fascinating highlight is the detailed report on Sonic Team's research trip to South America in late 1996. This trip was undertaken to gather inspiration for the diverse environments seen in Sonic Adventure. The page documents visits to significant locations, including Mayan ruins like Chichen Itza and Tulum in Mexico, and Inca sites such as Machu Picchu in Peru, as well as coastal areas and islands. A screenshot of an in-game level shows a landscape featuring ancient ruins and a sunset, clearly demonstrating the influence of this trip on the game's visual design and atmosphere. The report emphasizes the value of this experience in shaping the new world of Sonic. The next page continues the deep dive into Sonic Adventure's creation, picking up the thread of development inspiration. We learn from producer Yuji Naka that his desire to make a new ground-based Sonic game was strong, even while working on the sky-flying game, Nights into Dreams. This page also features 2 key team members, director Takashi Iizuka and art director Kazuyuki Hoshino, likely sharing their insights into the project. The fun detail highlighted is the checkpoint regarding Mr. Naka's tie, which apparently featured the distinctive Dreamcast orange swirl logo, a nod to the console Sonic Adventure was being developed for. The majority of the page is dedicated to chronicling Sonic Team's impactful research trip in late 1996. The timeline shows visits to ancient ruins in Guatemala, including the Grand Tikal ruins and the deeper jungle site of Uectun. The team also explored jungles, experienced encounters like ant swarms, and took some well-deserved relaxation time in Cancun before heading to Peru. In Peru, they visited the Nazca Lines, the city of Cusco, where some suffered altitude sickness, the breathtaking mountain citadel of Machu Picchu, and the desert ruins of Pachacamac. The photos from these locations, featuring the team and even a Sonic plush toy, clearly demonstrate the real-world inspiration that shaped the diverse and memorable environments of Sonic Adventure. This page continues the deep dive into Sonic Adventure, featuring interviews with main programmer Tetsuya Tano and character designer Yuji Uekawa. They discuss the challenges of designing new characters, like Tails, Big the Cat, and Metal Sonic, ensuring they fit seamlessly into Sonic's world. They also touch on the game's volume, playtime, and how characters gain new actions through gameplay progression rather than traditional RPG leveling. Highlighting key features, the page details the return of the Alive system from Nights into Dreams, where virtual creatures grow and change based on the player's actions. A significant innovation is the integration of Alive with the Dreamcast's Visual Memory Unit, VMU, allowing players to nurture and carry their creatures outside of the main game, promising hidden depth and interaction similar to the KO Garden system that would become famous later. Finally, the page reveals the wealth of mini-games available after completing the main adventure, promising continued fun. Screenshots showcase examples like thrilling snowboarding sequences and aerial races, alongside mentions of shooting and other activities, playable both solo and potentially with friends. There's also a fun checkpoint about Yuji Naka's name card, featuring the Dreamcast logo. This page continues our massive look at Sonic Adventure. The headline reads, "Let's show you," leading into an interview discussing the game's details. The developers confirm that Sonic will have collision with people walking in the town, meaning you can bump into them. They also hint at potential seasonal content, like a Christmas version, though this seems speculative. Regarding the voice actors, they state that the cast has not yet been announced. Screenshots on this page show Sonic running through a detailed city street, the robot character E102 Gamma standing ready for action, Knuckles snowboarding, and Sonic exploring a jungle area with a waterfall. Under the heading, Keyword 4, Other Ways to Play, the article mentions that there are many small details to look forward to. It touches upon whether the game will use communication features, currently under consideration, and how saving will work. Still undecided, but planned to be user-friendly, unlike the checkpoint-based save in Sonic Jam. A small box highlights this issue's cover art, explaining how it visually represents Sonic, and emphasizes details like his eyes, mouth expression, and posing. The page concludes by stating that anticipation for Sonic Adventure is running high, and that this massive feature in Saturn Magazine wraps up for now, promising more information to come. It points towards the game's release happening this year-end, highlighting the immense excitement for Sonic's debut on the Dreamcast. This page introduces the Dreamcast title, Godzilla Generations. The headline declares, "Destruction, that is, Godzilla," perfectly setting the stage for the game's core theme. Players take on the role of Godzilla, laying waste to iconic Japanese cities like Tokyo, Yokohama, Nagoya, and Fukuoka. The game is described as a simple yet exhilarating action experience, focusing entirely on the thrill of monstrous destruction. Screenshots display Godzilla rampaging through urban environments, showcasing the game's real-time destruction mechanics, and a use tracking the percentage of destruction achieved and the time elapsed. The article praises the Dreamcast's processing power for enabling a new level of realism in the collapsing buildings and the sheer weight and power of Godzilla's movements and roars, echoing the feel of the movies. The game promises a high degree of freedom, allowing players to demolish stages as they see fit. Godzilla Generations was planned for a 1998 release within Japan, and is presented here as a significant new action title, leveraging the Dreamcast's capabilities. This page continues the feature on the Dreamcast title, Godzilla Generations. It dives deeper into the core mechanics, explaining the three key parameters: life, health, destroy, destruction rate, and time limit, which governs success or failure in each stage. The article highlights Godzilla's diverse attack repertoire, including his powerful tail swipe, devastating heat ray, and charging attack, encouraging players to combine these moves for effective combos to maximize destruction. We also learn about the forces attempting to stop Godzilla. The human organization G-Force is introduced as the primary antagonist force, deploying advanced weaponry such as the Twin Maser Tank and the Super X-2I Mecha to impede Godzilla's rampage. Perhaps most excitingly, the page reveals that players won't be limited to controlling just Godzilla. The character variation section confirms that Mechagodzilla and even the often underestimated Manila will be playable, hinting at different gameplay styles. Manila's inclusion is detailed, noting his growth and ability to use his own heat ray, suggesting surprising potential for the character. Overall, the page reinforces that Godzilla Generations is shaping up to be a pure, action-packed destruction simulator, with surprising depth in its mechanics and playable roster. This page shifts focus to another upcoming Dreamcast title, Elemental Gimmick Gear. It highlights this game, described as an action RPG developed by Hudson and Birthday. The large, striking artwork features the game's title displayed on what looks like a mechanical device powered by electricity. A smaller section provides key details, noting the game is planned for a Spring '99 release on the Dreamcast, although the price is not yet determined. It is recommended for all ages, and currently 60% complete in development. A small screenshot gives a glimpse of the gameplay, showing a robot character engaged in combat with an enemy, set within a detailed mechanical environment. The page also features an icon, indicating this is part of a larger 21-page special feature. This page continues the focus on the upcoming Dreamcast title, Elemental Gimmick Gear. The central feature is an in-depth look at the game's development through interviews with 8 key developers from Hudson and Birthday. Described as a high-spec action RPG only achievable on Dreamcast, the feature promises to reveal production secrets directly from the people who made the game. The page directs readers to further sections detailing the game's world, action sequences, and movie integration, spread across multiple pages. Visuals include photos of the developers and several screenshots giving glimpses into the gameplay, showing both top-down and potentially 3D perspectives, hinting at the variety of action the game offers. The bold title, Gimmick Gear, is prominently displayed at the bottom. This page delves deeper into the mystery surrounding the mechs in Elemental Gimmick Gear, asking the fundamental question, what is EGG? It explains that the giant mechanical suits were first excavated from the ruins of an ancient civilization by researchers in the year 1353 of the Tokian calendar. Found alongside strange objects resembling cocoons containing sleeping humans, these relics were brought back for study. The page highlights the perplexing nature of the machines, noting they lack any discernible cockpit or control mechanism. Initial research into how they operated was a complete mystery. However, a curious saying among the researchers that there are spirits inside the machines making them move led to the machines being named Elemental Gimmick Gear, abbreviated as EGG. The page text below the large title reinforces this, stating EGG refers to the game's title and also serves as the collective term for these bipedal walking machines. The accompanying images show these imposing mechs in various scenes, hinting at their discovery and activation, illustrating the ancient, enigmatic technology at the heart of the game's world. Embark on an adventure in Tokion as a sleep man, a human discovered with the original EGG, a powerful mech. 50 years after the EGG mech's discovery and societal integration, you must unravel the mystery of your origins and the ancient Fanya ruins. Gameplay features include dynamic action combat, shifting from 2D encounters to full 3D boss battles, utilizing the EGG's unique movement and diverse attacks. Explore ancient ruins filled with puzzles, their solutions tied to events 5,000 years prior, using the EGG's special abilities. Engage in intense, full-polygon boss battles that showcase the Dreamcast's power. The game's world concept comes from Birthday. This page delves into the highly detailed world construction of Elemental Gimmick Gear. The development team, Birthday, has meticulously crafted an extensive backstory and concept for this unique setting, where the EGG mechs are deeply integrated into society, much like vehicles in our own world. This isn't just another near-future tale. The world is built with incredible depth, extending even to the daily lives and culture of its people, setting it apart from typical sci-fi settings. Hudson Soft is responsible for bringing this rich world to life visually. A key feature highlighted is the game's groundbreaking map system. Unlike traditional RPGs with segmented maps or grids, Elemental Gimmick Gear utilizes a unique full illustration map. These are single, cohesive pieces of artwork representing entire areas, fields, or dungeons, designed to immerse the player completely in the world without compromise. The screenshots showcase this distinct art style, featuring the protagonist's EGG mech, exploring various environments, including mechanical structures and ancient ruins reminiscent of the Fanya mentioned previously. The article promises to explore how this peculiar world of Tokion, where EGG exists, came into being, including the history of the EGG machines themselves. This page provides an in-depth look at the fictional history behind the EGG machines in Elemental Gimmick Gear. A timeline lays out significant events, beginning in the year 1358 with the initial investigation and discovery of the mysterious object that would later be identified and named EGG. In 1360, key moments include the creation of larger-scale replicas, such as one 4 times the size of the original in 1365. The same year, a massive 18-meter spherical object was found in the center of the Fanya ruins. The timeline progresses through the initiation of mass production around 1406, a process that took 2 decades, and the EGG's subsequent application in military contexts. Book.
By 1420, improvements led to the EGG's central role in founding Tokyon, and by 1432, EGG combat had become popular. The history concludes with strange occurrences in the ancient ruins noted in 1453. Beyond the historical context, the page showcases impressive physical models created by renowned modelers inspired by the game's distinctive aesthetic. Featured works include a detailed, adventurer-themed EGG model by Takayuki Takeya, and a model by Isaku Kito that specifically highlights the EGG's charming spherical design, demonstrating the artistic impact of the game's world. This page delves into the world and design philosophy behind EGG, Elemental Gimmick Gear, featuring an interview with Yujiro Hara, the producer from Birthday. The primary focus is on the game's unique visual presentation, which intentionally blends three distinct elements: pre-rendered CG movies, fully illustrated 2D maps, and real-time 3D battles. Mahara explains that the goal was to seamlessly integrate these disparate visual styles to create a cohesive experience. The hand-drawn, fully illustrated maps are a standout feature, providing a rich, detailed world for exploration, quite different from the 3D environments common at the time. When combat transitions occur, the perspective shifts smoothly into 3D battles. A key design decision was ensuring that the controls remained consistent across the 2D exploration and the 3D battle segments to maintain playability and immersion, preventing a jarring shift in mechanics. CG movies are strategically used at pivotal story moments and transitions, such as after-boss battles, to enhance the narrative flow and provide visual impact, building upon the detailed character and world models featured in the previous page. The developer emphasizes creating an action RPG, where the story and visuals are intertwined and support each other effectively. The page includes photos of Hera, intricate EGG models, and screenshots illustrating the transition between the illustrated 2D map view and the 3D battle screen. This page continues the deep dive into EGG, Elemental Gimmick Gear, focusing on the creative process and design choices. The developer discusses how the unique mecha design was born from playful experimentation and the commitment to making it the central character, not just a vehicle. They explain the thinking behind the distinct visual approach, prioritizing operability in the 2D illustrated maps over a full 3D world, feeling a well-designed 2D perspective was better suited for the action RPG gameplay they envisioned, avoiding awkward camera rotations. The excitement for the Dreamcast is palpable, described as the best present, hinting at the possibilities the new hardware offered for realizing their vision fully. The page also features a profile on Birthday, the development studio, detailing their background in character goods and highlighting their Great Shell Beast story game series, including its trading card adaptation. The screenshots show the unique battle perspective of EGG in action. This article explores the art style of the game EGG, Elemental Gimmick Gear, focusing on the hand-drawn maps created by Hudson designer Hisashi Kubo. Every map in the game began as a physical, hand-drawn sketch, scanned and digitally colored. Large map pieces could take a day to create, with the game requiring around 200 original art sheets, some reaching a 2 size. The visuals are compared to other RPGs, highlighting the detailed, full illustration style of EGG. Kubo discusses the challenges of designing for an action RPG, where map details directly impact gameplay. Considerations like wall thickness and entrance size are crucial for player movement. Despite these challenges, the objective was to ensure actions, such as jumping and spinning, felt natural within the game's unique, illustrated environments. This page delves deeper into the unique map creation process for Elemental Gimmick Gear, highlighting the innovative system where detailed hand-drawn art is directly utilized as the game's map. The text explains, this workflow involves scanning the original line art and then digitally painting it in Photoshop, much like creating standard CG illustrations. A visual breakdown shows the steps, starting with the initial scanned line drawing, applying base colors, adding shadows for depth, layering in highlights, and finally completing the full rendering. These steps are illustrated with examples of the map art in different stages of development. Hisashi Kubo discusses the capabilities of the Dreamcast hardware, noting that its support for 32,767 colors is a significant factor in being able to display the detailed, full-color CG artwork directly in the game environment. He expresses satisfaction with this, feeling it allows his artistic vision to be realized directly on screen. The article emphasizes the
the rewarding nature of this detailed, illustrative map creation process.
This page continues the exploration of elemental gimmick gear, detailing how the iconic EGG units have become an integral part of society by the year 1432 through mass production. It mentions that among the various types produced, a customized version for combat known as EGG Fight gained significant popularity. The article highlights the game's visual style, specifically focusing on the character's movement. It explains that the EGG characters are created using pre-rendered 3D models converted to 2D sprites, a technique referred to as pre-rendering. This approach retains the detailed texture and quality of the 3D models while allowing for the light and sometimes comical movement typical of 2D characters. Screenshots illustrate the top-down perspective gameplay with the detailed characters navigating environments. Beyond combat, the page emphasizes elemental gimmick gear's puzzle-solving elements. Players must utilize various actions like pushing and pulling to overcome traps and challenges within the dungeons. It encourages players to carefully assess their surroundings and use EGG's abilities to find the best solutions. The large section title reinforces that this 2D action and puzzle solving forms a core part of the action RPG experience, offering more than just simple attacks. This page delves into the battle skills available in elemental gimmick gear, focusing on the powerful abilities the protagonist's EGG unit can utilize. The EGG can be enhanced with various items, unlocking potent techniques that offer a significant advantage in combat. Some of these skills are described as being so powerful they can clear entire groups of weaker enemies in a single use, although this immense power might require strategic timing. The impressive visual effects of these attacks are also highlighted. Two specific special moves are detailed. First is Yota Aiku, an ultimate attack powered by spirit energy. It creates a ground-based shockwave that gradually expands, destroying foes in its path. Screenshots illustrate the purple energy ring growing larger.
This move is particularly useful when surrounded by enemies. The page then introduces the ultimate weapon Supernova, described as the EGG's most devastating technique. A series of screenshots clearly shows its sequence. The EGG, centered in the screen, surrounded by enemies, followed by a blinding flash of light, expanding into a massive sphere that engulfs the area. The description confirms that no enemy can survive within this powerful light. The text notes that the ability to use Supernova seems tied specifically to the original EGG unit, hinting that the technology comes from a mysterious ancient civilization, adding an intriguing layer to the game's lore.
This page focuses on the gameplay mechanics of elemental gimmick gear, specifically how the EGG unit handles in 3D space and its core combat abilities. The developers put significant effort into making the 3D control feel just as intuitive and responsive as traditional 2D action games. Players can freely control EGG, using analog input for precise movements and target specific weak points on enemies, transferring the skills learned in the 2D sections directly into the crucial 3D boss battles. A key technique highlighted is the spin dash. This move involves EGG tucking in its limbs and spinning at high speed to attack, offering both rapid movement and potent offensive power. While it has a certain momentum, the ability to quickly traverse areas and inflict damage makes it vital. The spin dash isn't just for combat, it's also essential for navigating dungeons and overcoming traps. Furthermore, by equipping specific parts, EGG can unleash variations like the flame spinner, adding fire to the attack for even greater effect, diversifying the player's approach. Screenshots show EGE using the fiery spin dash against enemies and confronting massive bosses, where these learned techniques will be put to the ultimate test in full 3D polygon battles.
In elemental gimmick gear, advanced technology is repurposed for military use in a world plunged into chaos after ancient ruins activate in 1455. The Fanya ruins, now overgrown and inaccessible, are guarded by dangerous creatures and unmanned EGG units. The game utilizes the Dreamcast's light source processing to enhance visual realism, particularly in boss battles against massive EGG units. Players will control Fanya, an amnesiac who awakens within the ruins and explores a world undergoing strange transformations. The EGG unit evolves as the game progresses, but its purpose remains ambiguous. Through intense battles and uncovering clues, players will unravel the mysteries of the world, the EGG, and Fanya's own forgotten past. The next page features the third part of the interview with the development staff of Elemental Gimmick Gear from Hudson, focusing on the game's 3D battles and the capabilities of the Dreamcast. Hudson programmers Hirotomo Suzuki and Fumihiro Fujito, known for their work on titles like the Far East of Eden series, discuss their experience developing for the new hardware. They emphasize how easy it is to achieve high performance and quality on the Dreamcast compared to the Saturn, stating that they could output maximum quality with minimal effort. While generally smooth, they mention the challenges they faced, particularly in implementing the concept of three-dimensional terrain for the battlefields, describing it as a process built through trial and error. Screenshots showcase the game's expansive 3D battle environments and the detailed EGG units in combat, including a chaotic image possibly showing intense effects. The developers express their excitement about the Dreamcast's potential for creating visually impressive and dynamic 3D battles. This page continues the interview with the development team behind Elemental Gimmick Gear, focusing on the technical aspects of creating its 3D battles on the Dreamcast. The developers discuss how the Dreamcast's ability to handle a high polygon count contributes to the game's detailed visuals, particularly in boss battles, where effective camera work and lighting were crucial. They contrast the Dreamcast's smooth polygon rendering, including proper perspective correction, with older hardware like the PlayStation and Saturn, noting that achieving similar visual quality required much more effort previously. The conversation touches upon the game's battle mechanics, drawing comparisons to the robot combat title Virtual On, though clarifying that EGG maintains a consistent control scheme whether you're in the 2D map view or transitioning into a 3D battle. They highlight the Dreamcast's strong expressive power, making character rendering, especially curves, look significantly better than on the Saturn. The developers express amazement at the quality they could achieve relatively easily on the Dreamcast, stating that what initially seemed incredible soon became the standard, pushing them to trial and error for further improvements. Screenshots throughout the page showcase the detailed 3D battle environments, dynamic character models, and transitions between 2D and 3D views, reinforcing the points made in the interview about the game's visual capabilities and battle design. This page delves into the stunning visual quality of the movie sequences in Elemental Gimmick Gear, describing them as things that enhance the visuals and the game's worldview. As you can see from the images, the movies boast high quality, skillfully integrating CG and animation. They feature realistic CG backgrounds and expressive animation that brings characters and creatures to life, presenting fresh situations that are visually striking. The reviewer notes that even if you can't achieve the absolute highest quality on your home TV, the beauty is undeniable. Scenes like EGG's head surfacing from water, showing impressive splashes and shine, are highlighted as particularly amazing. The movies are praised for blending 2D and 3D elements seamlessly, making them feel like a proper film and significantly enhancing the game's immersive experience. Screenshots include a dynamic water scene, a look at the game world displayed on a screen, the character Sleepman, described as a 2D anime character integrated into a CG scene, a mysterious tower reaching into the clouds, and a mech in a desolate landscape, all contributing to the unique atmosphere of EGG's world. The quality is so high, it's considered a major point of appeal that will make the game even more exciting. This page dives deeper into the world of Elemental Gimmick Gear, first exploring the mysteries surrounding the ancient ruin of Fanya. Located on the edge of the world of Tokyon, Fanya is described as an untouched place, holding the marks of time and housing ancient over-technology discovered by scientists. The text poses the central question: if this technology was meant to be beneficial, why did the EGG go out of control? The revelation of Fanya's mystery, which has become a formidable barrier, promises to uncover the surprising truth about Tokyon. Continuing the discussion from the previous page, the article praises the game's movie sequences, stating their cut division and direction are so good they rival real films. It highlights the opening movie as particularly impressive, starting with serene nature shots, before dramatically focusing on the EGG and the character Sleepman emerging from the water, building significant anticipation. The quality is described as causing goosebumps, calling it a rare feat for a game, and a directorial triumph for Hudson. The page features several images supporting these points: a striking landscape painting of Fanya, a group of characters, likely protagonists, observing something, and gameplay screenshots showing the game's top-down action perspective and UI. This page delves into the visual presentation of elemental gimmick gear, particularly the fusion of 3D and 2D elements. Hudson director Toshiro Okamoto is interviewed, shedding light on the design decisions behind the game's cinematic sequences. He explains their goal was to avoid a typical CG look, focusing instead on detailed camera work and cut divisions to achieve a more cinematic feel. A key aspect was the intentional blend of 3D polygonal environments with hand-drawn 2D characters in the movie scenes. Okamoto notes this was a deliberate challenge to see how effectively they could integrate the styles, and a conscious choice to stand out from games solely using 3D character models. The visual quality on the Dreamcast is highlighted, with the adoption of a widescreen format contributing to a grand sense of scale and atmosphere in the movies. The page includes images showcasing the EGG, robot design, some enemy renders, and visuals from the movie sequences illustrating the mix of 3D and 2D elements. This page continues the interview with Elemental Gimmick Gear's director, Toshiro Okamoto, shifting focus to the game's unique 2D map visuals. He reveals that the chibi characters seen during gameplay are actually rendered from 3D models, animated frame by frame, and then used as 2D sprites. This pre-rendering technique allows for significantly more detailed and realistic movements compared to traditional pixel art, with the main EGG mech having around 10 walking patterns alone. Okamoto explains they sought realism in the character's motion, envisioning how a real mech, like EGG, would move, and avoiding overly cartoony animation. The decision to use 2D sprites for gameplay, despite the Dreamcast's 3D capabilities, was partly enabled by the console's larger memory, allowing for more animation patterns. He contrasts the somewhat cold feel of EGG in the 3D movies with its unique, more approachable look in the 2D gameplay, a deliberate choice to provide players with a sense of security. Reflecting on the future, Okamoto, a veteran of 2D action games, expresses a desire to create a game with many highly realistic 2D characters on the Dreamcast, believing that even in a polygonal age, well-animated 2D characters can still deliver emotional impact. The page features screenshots showing the top-down 2D gameplay perspective and the detailed sprites of EGG in action, including using its wire ability to traverse the environment. This page continues the interview with the developers of Elemental Gimmick Gear, featuring director Ayuto, programmer Kosaka, and programmer Sugibayashi. They discuss their experience developing the game on the Dreamcast. Iketo explains they chose the Dreamcast because it was an ideal environment where they could realize almost any idea they had, unlike previous consoles with storage or performance limitations. They highlight how the three core elements of EGG, the detailed illustrated 2D maps, the 3D battles, and the high-quality movies, were challenging on older hardware, but are achievable on Dreamcast. They praise the console's ability to handle higher polygon counts and better visual effects, noting the stark difference between 60 FPS and 30 FPS 3D battles, and confirming EGG's battles and 2D maps are targeting a smooth 60 FPS. The programmers share their positive impressions, calling the Dreamcast a dream machine that makes asset management and coding easier due to its larger memory compared to past consoles, where they constantly struggled with limitations. While admitting they haven't fully pushed the hardware yet, they are excited by its potential for graphics and sound. The interview also touches on the game's length, estimated at around 20 hours for an average playthrough, and the inherent complexity of programming an action RPG like EGG. A screenshot shows the EGG mech in a 3D battle sequence. This page features official strategy guides for two arcade giants. The top section is dedicated to Daytona USA 2, Battle on the Edge. This is the much-anticipated sequel to the arcade racing classic, Daytona USA. The guide covers advanced arcade driving techniques and features thorough strategies provided by a top-tier driving game team. It also surprisingly includes strategies specifically for automatic transmission cars, not just manual. The image shows intense racing action, with stock cars on a track, highlighting the game's fast-paced nature. The guide itself is described as a full-color, a 5-size book with 96 pages, available now. Below that is a guide for Dynamite Cop, known in Japan as Dynamite Deca 2. This guide focuses on the popular arcade beat-em-up. It provides comprehensive strategies for each mission and boss encounter, as well as details on player character tendencies. A highlight for fans is the inclusion of secret setting materials, promising to reveal the truth behind the detective story. The artwork depicts the game's main characters ready for action, including the protagonist Bruno Delinger, a pirate captain, and other distinctive enemies and allies. This guide is a full-color, a 5-size book spanning 112 pages, also available now.
Both guides are published by SoftBank.
This page features an announcement for the official guidebook for the strategy RPG Black/Matrix. The striking illustration dominates the page, showcasing several key characters from the game in a dynamic pose, centered around a dark-haired woman and a winged young man. The guide promises to cover the secrets and charm of the game in full detail. The content of the guidebook is outlined, including explanations from the basic system to advanced battle tactics, a deep dive into the game system, detailed strategy for branching paths and enemy characters, and comprehensive map guides. It also covers weapon parameters and potential effects, and includes a special interview with Bitugu and Kyoko Tsuchiya, along with a collection of setting artwork. Scheduled for release in late August, the guide has a list price of 1,200 yen. It is published by SoftBank Corporation's publishing division, with credits to Flightplan and NEC Interchannel, featuring illustration by Kyoko Tsuchiya and original work by Bitugu. This is clearly the essential companion for any player looking to master the intricate world of Black/Matrix. This page features announcements for 2 upcoming or recently released guidebooks. First, we see the official guide for High School Terra Story, a dating simulation game on the SEGA Saturn. The guide, already on sale for 1,200 yen, promises to be fully compatible with the SEGA Saturn version and answer players' questions. It includes explanations of the game system, character introductions, event strategies for each character, branching charts for reaching different endings, a short comic, and a special gift. The page displays character artwork and screenshots from the game. Below that, the Arcana Strikes card game masterbook is promoted. This guide focuses on the Arcana Strikes card game, scheduled for release in mid-September, with a scheduled price of 2,100 yen. It's described as an essential resource for players, covering basic rules, card types, effective strategies including combos, sample decks, optional rules, and multiplayer battles. It also features a complete card list and an FAQ.
The section includes dynamic character artwork related to the game.
This page is an advertisement for the Yoyogi Animation Academy, promoting enrollment and celebrating the 10th anniversary of its Osaka, Nagoya, and Fukuoka campuses for the upcoming April 1999 academic year. The academy emphasizes practical skills and receiving recognized certifications through its curriculum. It offers a diverse range of departments, including animation/film, CG newly established, publishing, and arts, covering fields from animator and director roles to game design, manga, and voice acting. Key benefits highlighted are nationwide locations, free trial sessions and school explanation meetings, 24-hour free medical consultation, and affordable housing options. Scholarships are also available. The page features promotion for the movie Slayers Gorgeous, currently showing nationwide, relevant to the animation focus. Additionally, it advertises a free nationwide audition program aimed at discovering new voice actor talent, boasting a high debut success rate. This page is the Reader's Submissions Corner, aptly titled, Aim for Let's Player King. Readers share their thoughts and experiences covering a variety of topics, including daily life anecdotes and gaming-related comments. Several readers discuss specific titles like Let's Park and Netabatsu, reflecting on their engagement with these games or concepts. One reader shares a humorous story involving a dating simulation game and an unexpected encounter with ants. Another highlights an exciting moment in a baseball game with a massive home run. The upcoming Dreamcast release sparks discussion, with one reader humorously suggesting a potential group name change related to Kinky Kids. There's also a lighthearted comment about the magazine's editor-in-chief having previously had long hair. One reader expresses their enjoyment of a particular homepage, finding its content entertaining. 2 illustrations accompany submissions that likely relate to games. One featuring a girl associated with a title like Welcome, strongly suggesting the game Welcome to Pia Carrot, and another featuring a startled man with a reference to 100 stories, possibly hinting at a horror title or game mode. The page provides a snapshot of the reader's diverse interests and interactions with the world of SEGA Saturn and beyond. This page continues the reader submission section, featuring more diverse thoughts and experiences from SEGA Saturn fans. Readers from across Japan share personal anecdotes, gaming triumphs, and even apologies. Highlights include comments on classic titles like Virtua Fighter 2, with a comic strip humorously focusing on early polygon counts and specific character moves. Another reader expresses a strong desire for the skeleton Saturn model and seeks interaction with fellow fans. The notoriously difficult to find SHMUP, Radiant Silvergun, is mentioned by a reader who missed out on purchasing it. The page also features lighter fare, such as a reader reflecting fondly on their 2 years with the SEGA Saturn console itself, recounting repairs and enduring loyalty, and another apologizing for playing Super Robot Wars fine during a hospital visit, even skipping doctor's appointments to finish the game. There are also reactions to the upcoming Dreamcast announcement. The illustrations are varied, including comic strips related to games like Virtua Fighter, and possibly dating sims or simulation titles. Overall, it paints a picture of a passionate and engaged community, sharing their love for the SEGA Saturn and its games, mixed with everyday life. This page continues the vibrant reader submission section, diving into the pet peeves and everyday observations of SEGA Saturn fans. A prominent section titled, "Things Like This Are No Good," highlights reader dislikes, ranging from scenarios in Sakura Wars like playing too much, to irksome situations in arcades or interactions with others. Another section, Tsukomi, offers humorous retorts and reactions. Readers comment on the upcoming Dreamcast launch and delve into obscure facts about Sega hardware, such as the capabilities of the Dreamcast's CD-ROM drive and the Sega Saturn's FDD unit, even mentioning the rare SC3000's SF7000. Anime references pop up, including mentions of classic mecha series like Super Dimension Century Orgus and Genesis Climber Mospeada, alongside Super Robot Wars F. The Higashikana's Boys Forbidden After School Club Heart showcases reader-submitted illustrations and thoughts, seemingly with a focus on female perspectives or specific fandoms. Illustrations include fan art of characters, notably Angelique, alongside comments on game nicknames and personal preferences like school uniforms or types of people. The page concludes by listing the various categories readers can submit to, covering everything from daily life anecdotes and illustrations for the Park Gallery to game-related discussions, personal reflections, and relationship thoughts. It's a call to action for the community to keep their voices heard and contribute to the magazine's content. Overall, this page is a fun, personal look at the Sega Saturn community's diverse interests and daily lives, blending gaming passion with everyday humor and observations. This page features the Park Gallery, a showcase of reader-submitted fan art and commentary. The gallery displays diverse artwork inspired by various Sega Saturn titles. You'll find submissions covering Shining Force 2i, the Langrisser series, specifically Langrisser V and Langrisser IV, Sengoku Turb, Super Robot Wars F Final, Azel Panzer Dragoon RPG, Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers, and even a piece for Lupin III. This week's best submission highlights art for Lennis 2, known internationally as Paladin's Quest 2, praised for its unique, surreal style that captures the game's world. The artist mentions seeking new encounters, and the reviewer comments on the appealing finish. A notice reveals that the next theme for submissions will be Sonic. The page also includes an information section detailing submission rules, like using postcards and black ink, and explaining the point system used to reward contributors with prizes like game software or gift certificates. This section provides the necessary address for mailing in entries, continuing the magazine's strong connection with its readership. This page is an advertisement for a Sega specialty store called Santa, offering new Sega Saturn and Mega Drive games and peripherals via mail order. It details contact information, shipping costs with regional variations, payment methods including cash on delivery and bank transfer, and lists available software and hardware along with their prices. This page dives deep into the acclaimed Chunsoft sound novel, Machi. It features the game's bulletin board section, encouraging readers to submit their thoughts and experiences, noting that participation has recently dropped, making it a great time to get your message featured. There's also a fun section showcasing a reader's Machi-inspired photo submission. The big news highlighted is that interviews with the actors from the game, previously published in the magazine, are now available to read on Chunsoft's official website, a fantastic resource for fans wanting to learn more about the talent behind the characters. The page lists the numerous actors featured in these interviews. You also get updates directly from the magazine staff, known humorously as the Machibaka, and a look at the midterm results of the character popularity poll. Characters like Takamine Ryuji and Amenomi Akima are ranking high, showing who the fans are connecting with. This page is a great example of how magazines like this fostered community around popular games, connecting players with each other, the staff, and even the developers and actors. This page continues the deep dive into the acclaimed sound novel, Machi. It highlights fan engagement through various illustration submissions, showcasing readers' takes on the game's characters in the Gallery Dogonzaka, and specifically depicting favorite bad ends in another section. A fascinating real-world connection is revealed. The actual location of the Primera restaurant in Shibuya, a place visited by the game's location scouts and featured in game events, is detailed for interested fans. In a more lighthearted segment, the page humorously explores the idea of Mashiki becoming a fighting game, comparing it to Mortal Kombat, and listing potential characters and features readers might want to see. Finally, the page outlines the diverse corners available on the Mashik bulletin board, encouraging readers to submit everything from character predictions for a potential sequel to fan art and personal interpretations of game scenes. It's clear the magazine is fostering a strong community around the game. This page presents a human interest story titled Loose Socks Blues, a story of boys and girls at the end of the 20th century, dated September 11, 1998. The article features a narrative divided into sections like Leaving the Boring Town, Want to Go to Tokyo, and New Life, Meeting a Man. It recounts the personal experience of a young person leaving their hometown, yearning for the excitement of Tokyo, embracing trends like loose socks, and beginning a new life that includes meeting a man. While not about a specific game, the piece explores themes of youth, change, and personal relationships, which often resonate with the character-driven narratives found in sound novels like Machi, featured on previous pages. A photograph of a young woman is included, but the text notes it is unrelated to the story itself. This page features the weekly Saturn Times column, specifically Volume 6. It includes two main ongoing pieces. The second installment of Gemo Memo, short for Game Memo, humorously tackles the topic of a creepy game otaku and how one might become popular with women, likely exploring social dynamics within the gaming community, with an illustration showing someone seemingly struggling socially. The sixth installment of the Deep Otaku Culture Peak Operation column recounts an experience at Comic-It, focusing on wearing a Char custom t-shirt from Mobile Suit Gundam and dealing with the heat, highlighting the specific fan culture around custom merchandise. There's also an illustration showing a woman wearing a Johnny Ridden custom t-shirt, another reference to obscure Gundam mobile suit variations, demonstrating how even simple items like t-shirts can make a big statement and draw attention within the scene. Additionally, the page features a commentary from Something Yoshimatsu, discussing his gaming life and love for Sega. He praises Sega's knack for superb balance and the feeling of movement in their games, citing Space Harrier on the Mark II and Virtua Fighter as standout examples. He notes that recent games sometimes lack that distinct Sega-ness, but holds hope for the Dreamcast to bring it back. The columnists also comment on the disappointing summer weather and the specific experience of wearing otaku-themed apparel in public spaces like Shibuya and at conventions like Comic-It. This page features the hyper-column Free Talk, where voice actress and idol Sakura Chizuru shares personal updates. She reflects on the end of summer, discusses filming the second installment of her video series about aiming to be a voice actor, and mentions playing a unique role as a librarian. She also humorously talks about her recent shopping habit of buying many t-shirts, only for her sisters to take them, prompting her to buy more. Her profile provides a brief bio highlighting her career as an idol, singer, actress, and voice actor. There's also information about a stage play she is starring in, titled Serenade at the Glass Factory. Additionally, the page includes a manga strip by artist Uemoto Izumi. The comic diary entry focuses on the artist's experience illustrating trading cards for an idol, expressing a lack of personal interest in idol culture, and finding the concept of their own card appearing in the idol's set somewhat peculiar. It also touches upon challenges like working under pressure and dealing with event day weather, as well as noticing their own merchandise in Game Center UFO catchers. This page features two distinct columns, offering insights into the gaming world and related industries. The first column, Where Did Summer Go?, by Fumio Kurokawa, a seasoned professional with experience spanning music, film, and game publicity, including work on the Virtua Fighter series, laments the lackluster state of the current game market. He compares it to the strange, unexciting summer weather, noting that only a few software releases stand out, while the rest feel stagnant. He discusses user expectations and cultural differences in expressing disappointment, questioning the vitality of the industry despite economic factors. The second column, Yukun This Week, is penned by Yu Yoshioka, a game programmer and director known for his work since the late 80s. Yukun shares his recent enthusiasm for Beatmania, detailing how it draws him to arcades and how he enjoys playing it at home, planning to get the PlayStation version. He mentions the completion of his game, Gawkin 2, noting it's generated some debate, and stresses the importance of game publicity, which he feels is often overlooked. He also talks about trying King of Fighters 98 and encourages exploring 2D fighting games, though he admits he's not particularly skilled. He confirms Gawkin 2 is finished for the PlayStation with details online, and his next projects are planned for the Dreamcast and Windows platforms. The accompanying photo seems to capture a moment of home gaming. This page features the 31st installment of the comic strip, Sega's Games Are the World's Best, by animation creator Samushin Yoshimatsu. The strip humorously depicts characters representing Sega consoles or employees commenting on the state of the gaming industry. The comic touches on the decreasing prominence of older consoles like the Mega Drive and Saturn, while acknowledging the Saturn's strong points, such as supporting up to 4 controllers, prompting the need to find more gaming friends. There's a comparison between different controller types, specifically the D-pad, suggesting adaptation is needed. The comic also references the popularity of the Game Boy Pocket with Pokémon. Commentary is made on the Nintendo 64, describing it as not quite weak, which leads to a sense of shared struggle or familiarity with Sega. A running gag involves strange postcards being sent to the editorial department and Nintendo headquarters, eliciting a strong, humorous reaction from Nintendo. Overall, the strip offers a lighthearted, personal perspective on the console wars and industry trends of the time. This page is the cover of SEGA Saturn Magazine, featuring a major editorial focus titled Game Technique Laboratory. Presented as a complete preservation edition, the main draw is a comprehensive guide to the secrets and techniques of Sega Saturn games. This is the second part of a 2-issue series dedicated to uncovering hidden elements, super techniques, and secret data for Saturn titles. This installment specifically covers games whose titles fall within the alphabetical range from 2 to WA. Across both parts of this extensive feature, the magazine boasts coverage of 482 different game titles, detailing a remarkable total of 1501 techniques and secrets. The cover proclaims that this issue marks the culmination of this major cheat feature, completing the history of Saturn game secrets. Visually, the cover highlights the Game Technique Laboratory title, with large, glossy letters against a dynamic blue background, emphasizing the deep dive into game mechanics. This page continues the deep dive into Sega Saturn secrets, featuring techniques and cheats for several titles starting around the 2 to WA range. For Thor, The Legend of the Elemental King, we get the lowdown on special attacks using various weapons like the sword, bow, and staff, along with handy exploits such as gaining unlimited weapons and performing a quick forward roll. The popular dating sim Dokusei 2 is also touched upon, detailing specific events related to dating and part-time jobs. Racing fans rejoice with extensive coverage for both the Courage King the Spirits and its sequel. These sections reveal how to unlock special cars like Type D, uncover hidden vehicles, customize the game's appearance with different wallpapers and skies, and even change the car's design. Practical tips are included too, like checking your best times, enabling 2-player mode, and adjusting car speed, plus an intriguing mention of a secret house and unlocking all car types into Peerage King 2. Finally, for the action-adventure classic Tomb Raider, there's a fantastic tip on skipping levels and a clever trick for easily farming experience points by repeatedly engaging a specific boss. These are some solid time-saving and enhancement cheats for these games. This page delves into further Sega Saturn secrets, focusing heavily on techniques and hidden features for Fighting Vipers and the Battle Arena to Shinden series. For Fighting Vipers, you'll find codes to unlock hidden characters like Gaia and Xiao, along with various quirky modes such as Zeroion, Zero Zen, Lunar Surface Driving, Destruction, and Comical Racing Machine. These are typically activated by specific button sequences on the mode selection screen after viewing advertisements in magazine mode. The page also includes comprehensive move lists for several key characters, including Eiji, Gaia, Xiao, Duke, and Ho, showing their special attack commands. Moving on to Battle Arena to Section Den, specifically Yura and Remix, there's a wealth of information. In Yura, you can unlock boss characters Bolt and Uranus via a code entered at the title screen. Move lists are provided for Uranus, Bolt, Cupido, Ranger, Cain, and Sophia, with a note that more moves can be found by pausing the game. For Remix, you can unlock new costumes, access a versatile free camera mode through the pause menu, and enable a visual selection mode for characters and stages using a controller input. General Toshinden tips include a simplified command for ultimate moves when health is low, L+R, and a specific code in Yura to always perform Uranus's ultimate move after unlocking the bosses. Finally, tips are given for unlocking the ability to rewatch game graphics, including all event scenes and bonus CG, by clearing the game multiple times. This page continues the deep dive into SEGA Saturn game secrets, offering valuable tips and hidden features primarily for Fighting Vipers and the various Tokimeki Memorial puzzle games. For Fighting Vipers, you'll find the methods to unlock the hidden characters Xiao and Vermilion, alongside a move list for Vermilion herself. There are also technical tips, such as detailed settings for bout time and strength, and even a way to hide your character gauge during victory poses for a cleaner look. The bulk of the page focuses on the Tokimeki Memorial puzzle and Mahjong spin-offs, Taisen Toke Tama, Taisen Mahjong Paradise, Taisen Pazuru Dama. Here, players can learn how to select different costumes for the girls, access a memory mode to view graphics, and manually control aspects of the Mahjong game like the rich window. Crucially, it details how to unlock and play as boss characters, like Tatebayashi, Ijuin, and Hayami. It is a fascinating section, revealing that entering specific names provides unique in-game effects. The page also covers helpful functions, like displaying match records, fast-forwarding or zooming the ending sequences, having the SD characters speak, and even getting your fortune told by Shiori. This page explores hidden features and strategies within various Saturn games, emphasizing the Tokimeki Memorial series. For Tokimeki Memorial Volume 2, discover how to access in-game radio, perform music, manipulate dialogue, and get character phone numbers. The page also details how to quickly rematch and reveals hidden elements on the command screen. For Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 1, learn how to unlock bonus modes like an album and a soccer minigame after achieving a happy ending, along with tips on how to use special names for different effects. Additional tips cover the main Tokimeki Memorial, detailing name inputs to alter stats and game states, triggering subtitles, accessing karaoke, and finding hidden messages. The page also provides crucial information for SHMUP enthusiasts, including the requirements for entering Dodonpachi's second loop. Finally, the page offers tips for Twin B Deluxe Pack and Tri-Rush Depi, Gamera 2000, along with information on a super mode for a slot game. This page unveils hidden features in several SEGA Saturn games. Dragon Force tips include recruiting Risky Mar and Sierra, strategic map navigation, and hints about hidden events tied to Element Castle and army levels. Dragon Ball Z, Shin Butthowden details unlocking music select and stage select modes via button combinations, adjusting game speed, and lists special move inputs for numerous characters. It also provides stage condition information. Other tips cover a Spark combo in Tri-Rush Depi, unlocking extra options after clearing an unnamed game, a Neon Star combination bonus, and a karaoke mode in Doraemon, Nobita, and the Resurrection of the Star. This document provides cheat codes, hidden features, and game tips for several games. Dragon Ball Z, Shin Butthowden character move lists continue, along with general game tips like obtaining extra experience. Nights into Dreams offers map rotation, message speed adjustment, and a sound test. Nightruth reveals hidden Euro mode and stage select options. 2-Tax Gold unlocks a back menu and background changes. Nissan presents Overdrive and GTR features hidden cars and courses. General racing tips include unlocking a rally course and No Mercy mode. Finally, several games likely have button sequences to enable boss, bonus, and infinite continue modes. The Game Technique Laboratory provides hidden tips and tricks for SEGA Saturn games. For Ninja Jajamaru-kun on Inpocho, it reveals infinite continues and a debug mode. Neketsu Oyako features a graphical effect change and special moves. Ninku Ninku Kyoki na Yatsura no Daigeki Totsu includes a chibi character and high-speed mode. Nippon Daihyo Team no Kantoku ni Nabro offers coaching skill lessons from Coach Kaktaro in June. No Mura Bioin no Hitobito has secrets, like manipulating the developer's logo, and a hidden face. Nobunaga's Ambition, Shosei Roku details event triggers, allowing players to influence historical events such as alliances, battles, and betrayals, based on in-game factors like date, location, and relationships, including obtaining permissions and appointing a shogun. This page continues the Game Technique Laboratory section, providing tips for Nobunaga's ambition, Shoseiroku events, and secrets for Virtua Cop. For Nobunaga's ambition, it outlines various historical events, like Hideyoshi's meeting with Ieyasu, the appointment of the Kanto Kanrei, the Three Arrows lesson by Mori Motonari, the Shingu Party incident, and the relationship between Nobunaga and Ieyasu and Takeda Shingen. These events trigger based on character relationships and in-game conditions, adding depth to the historical simulation. This section also details events specific to Oda Nobunaga, such as the tragedy at Chikubu Island and the start and halt of Azuchi Castle construction, along with events involving other major daimyos like the Mori clan. The Virtua Cop section reveals hidden techniques, including accessing ranking mode and Option Plus, a command to trigger them, how to change backgrounds based on the Saturn's internal clock, a trick for mirror mode, how to view endings after defeating bosses, hiding the pause display, and a secret command to immediately fight the final boss, Zhou Fang. These tips offer players ways to unlock extra content and modes, enhancing the replayability of Virtua Cop. This page explores hidden features in the Virtua Fighter series, focusing on the original and Virtua Fighter 2. For the original and remix versions, discover secrets like alternate character selects, random character mode, and Option Plus, with infinite credits, mirror mode, and even big head mode. Other secrets include special weapons, staff roles, ending replay fixes, ring disappearances, and Cage's voice changes. Virtua Fighter 2 secrets include unlocking and playing as Dural, simplified character select, special options, and a rank recognition mode. A notable secret lets character masks and hats fall off during fights. A true arcade mode replicates the arcade challenge. The page offers technique lists for characters and Durals, and provides a specific tip for Akira's Iron Mountain throw, ensuring it connects under specific conditions. This page continues exploring the secrets of the Virtua Fighter series, likely focusing on Virtua Fighter 2 and related titles. There's a table detailing various character techniques, including throws and reversals, showing the specific button inputs required for execution. Beyond the basic moves, the page reveals numerous hidden features. Discover how to change the camera angle in watch mode, revert the background music to the original Virtua Fighter sound, or easily select preset key configurations. Learn the conditions for name entry and special effects it can unlock, like slow-motion replays. There are also tricks to see persistent staff roles, specific defeat animations, and even unlock hidden messages based on the system date. The page provides commands for using Dural and the elusive Crystal Dural, explaining that Crystal Dural appears after clearing the game on expert difficulty with a rank A. For the Virtua Fighter CG Portrait series for Sarah and Jackie, you can change the voice modes. The Virtua Casino section details how to unlock a movie viewer mode and a trick to become incredibly rich in the free play slot machine. Other secrets include a special Tukuru Master mode for enhanced training, a wireframe display mode for characters, and accessing an Option Plus mode. The page also details how to view a special ending under specific victory conditions, and even perform a unique two-person win pose. Specific character techniques like Jeffrey's sitting throw and Akira's Game-on-2 trap are also highlighted with execution tips. This article uncovers a wealth of hidden features and unlockables in various SEGA Saturn games. Virtual Boat Race reveals hidden items and acceleration boosts. Virtual Hide allows character revival. Virtual Volleyball boasts extensive secrets, including staff roles, animation patterns, and playing as female characters. Virtual Racing unlocks the supercar and allows for race termination. Nights into Dreams hides appearances in mission mode and a powerful move. Burning Rangers offers background music only, character unlocks, and simplified options. Bug provides stage select, boss play, and random selections. Other games like Bakuretsu Hunter, Pastel Muse, Hyper Securities Pass, Hyper Duel, and Hyper Revertheon also feature unique secrets such as special modes, hidden characters, and gameplay tricks. This page is a valuable resource for players seeking to enhance their Saturn gaming experience. This document reveals hidden features across various SEGA Saturn games. Puzzle Bobble 2X and 3 feature reverse side unlocks and character selection via button combinations. Batsugun allows credit boosting and access to Iceman. Hat Trick Hero S hides the Kumagai team. Baku Baku Animal offers scene clearing, the Secret Old Man, and several gameplay modes. Battle Gurega enables ship performance customization. Hanagumi Tyson Columns unlocks characters in Cinderella and story modes, and increases jewel variety with Sakura Wars saved data. Battle Monsters allows versus stage selection, and a special move for Shimeon.
Bubble Symphony includes stage select and item combination secrets.
Bulk/houses the controversial sex name entry. Finally, Baroque reveals secrets related to Magic Great War characters and a dynamic versus play screen. This page unveils game secrets and techniques for several SEGA Saturn titles. Racing games like Hang On Jeep 95 and SEGA Rally Championship feature cheats to remove time limits, unlock hidden courses, and access special modes. Dragon Force reveals combat maneuvers and a dragon-only mode. Panzer Dragoon and Panzer Dragoon Zwei offer movement techniques, hidden characters, and unlockable content, including the SEGA Logo Man and special gameplay features. Virtual Fighter 2 includes secrets and a surprising command that unlocks Panzer Dragoon modes. Information on Pia-EU Kosos, item acquisition, and compatible peripherals like the mission stick and shuttle mouse are also provided. This text reveals hidden features and unlockables in several SEGA Saturn games. In soccer titles like Victory Goal, players can control camera angles, execute advanced dribbling maneuvers, and alter animations. Ultraman offers access to a CG viewer, stage select, and a hidden voice mode, featuring Takenobu Mitsuyoshi. Girls in Motion Puzzle Volume 1 allows viewing all puzzle images and selecting puzzles by date. Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon Supers unlocks transformation scenes. Pinball Graffiti includes a mirror mode and a cheat to change the ball's appearance. Fighters History Dynamite features the extra round against a bull. Fighters Megamix unlocks invincibility, expanded training modes, stage selection in survival mode, and access to ending portraits and gameplay data, along with a secret to make the F-14XX appear on a specific stage. This Game Technique Laboratory page offers advanced strategies for SEGA Saturn fighting games, primarily focusing on fighting Vipers. It reveals how to unlock numerous hidden characters beyond the standard roster, including New Honey, Bon, Jan, and others. The guide unlocks special moves, such as the K1 Grand Prix Illusion, and reveals quirky features like Deku's training dummy form, and alternate forms for Kuma-chan. It also covers unlocking extra character colors and stage modifications. For dedicated players, the page includes extensive move lists for Kuma-chan, Panda, BM, and Mahler,
detailing attacks, throws, and special techniques with command inputs and conditions.
Unlocking boss characters BM and Mahler for player use is highlighted as a significant gameplay enhancement. This page continues the deep dive into fighting Vipers, focusing on more advanced unlockable content and character secrets. It details how to unlock and play as the legendary Pepsi Man by clearing arcade mode with a favorable situation, or specifically using Honey, unlocks a special candy version of her in training mode. You can also unlock a hidden portrait for Tokyo and a special CG image for Kuma-chan and Panda by clearing arcade mode with them. Further unlocks include making Ludwig playable after highlighting Honey on the character select screen and pressing a button combination. There are tricks to change player names before a match, gain infinite continues, and access a spectator mode by pressing specific button combinations on the respective screens. The page also describes how to unlock the Hidden Ring 4 and an ending viewer mode by inputting sequences during gameplay. It even offers a tip for changing the game's volume by pausing and pressing buttons. While there's a move list provided for Pepsi Man, the focus here is clearly on uncovering the game's many hidden features and characters beyond the standard roster, building upon the advanced techniques discussed on the previous page. This page delves into secrets and techniques for a variety of SEGA Saturn titles. The main focus is on Fire Pro Wrestling's
Six-Men Scramble, detailing how to unlock hidden wrestlers by conquering specific championships in Victory Road mode, or by controlling entire groups. The page also provides extensive move lists for numerous wrestlers, including Masked Eagle, Dynamic Kid, Black Panther, and many others, outlining their signature moves and corresponding button commands. Beyond the wrestling ring, there are tips for other games. Falcom Classics hides a secret movie accessible via a specific date setting and button input on the Saturn's internal clock. For the fighting game Fist, you can change the viewpoint by pausing and pressing the X, Y, or Z buttons. The fishing sim, Fishing Koshien, reveals several unlockable features. Accessing a round select by entering a specific name, viewing clear movies,
enabling 2-player battles, and even a tip on using the 2030 cm Nanyukaiwari caught in the 4th round as live bait for catching large fish. Pechin cod. Finally, for the RPG Feta remake, Emblem of Justice, the page provides the method for obtaining the powerful Calamity Edge item, directing players to a specific location and interaction point after a battle in Area 7. This page unveils hidden secrets and gameplay tricks for various SEGA Saturn titles. In Feta Remake, Emblem of Justice, the Blade Reglist armor can be obtained. Puyo Puyo Sun features button commands for character randomization and hidden character appearances, including Carbuncle and Zooma. Black Matrix boasts an invincible mode, mission select, weapon resupply, and a CG gallery access via button commands. Puli Rula Arcade Gears unlocks modes like Character Select and Euro Mode through sound effect manipulation. Pro Yaku Greatest 997 allows for rain effects and cursor toggling, while also providing tips on relay throws and character stats. Boo Breaker, From Sword to Smile grants speed-boosting accessories or ways recruitment upon new game starts. Blue Seed, The Legend of Kusanada hides Momiji's pants. Finally, Blam! Machine Head offers passwords for invincibility, unlimited ammo, and level select. Photogenic unlocks artwork via clock manipulation. This page continues the deep dive into secrets for SEGA Saturn games. For Pro Yaku Greatest 997, you'll find more cheats like ending a game in a single inning, viewing player stats easily during trades, unlocking numerous cosmetic parts for players, changing uniforms, and even getting more secretaries. Moving on to Pro Yaku Greatest 998, similar tricks are available, including forcing games to finish in one inning, removing the cursor, playing in the rain, enjoying the home run derby at night, altering the password, reading speed, and creating custom-sized stadiums. For Heisei Tensai Bakuban, you can apparently use the special character Nora Uma. Voice Fantasia offers access to a hidden CG gallery. Fans of fighting games will appreciate the section on Pocket Fighter. This reveals hidden special moves for almost every character, including Ryu, Lele, Ken, Chun-Li, Sakura, Morrigan, Guki, Akuma, and Dan. It also outlines the specific conditions you need to meet in CPU battles for Dan to randomly challenge you. Finally, there are brief mentions of tricks for Pebble Beach golf links, giving access to the demo menu and a gallery, a winning strategy for poker and Haunted Casino, and unlocking the ending movie and staff role in Voice Idol Maniacs. Pool Burst. This document details hidden techniques and secrets for several SEGA Saturn games. In a fighting game, possibly Pocket Fighter, specific conditions are needed to make Akuma appear in CPU battles. Marvel Superheroes players can prevent gems from appearing by holding AL and R at round start. It also details how to unlock and use characters like Doctor Doom, Anita, and Thanos. Body Special 264. Motion Puzzle Volume 2 secrets include unlocking a hidden stage, viewing all photos, slowing the roulette, accessing a sound test, and fighting all female characters in free battle. Authentic Shogi Guide. Wakamatsu Shogi School reveals how to unlock and view the staff role. Mahjong Kyojidai. Kogyaru Hukago Hen secrets involve accessing album mode, enabling quick options, changing background music, and encountering specific characters through item usage, location visits, or story progression. This page presents a collection of hidden techniques and secrets for various SEGA Saturn games. It covers everything from classic Mahjong titles like Mahjong Kyojidai, Dokusei Special, Po-Po Poemes, and Hyper Reaction Rare, detailing ways to unlock characters, view opponents' hands, access special modes, and add extra content. Role-playing and adventure games like My Best Friends, St. Andrew Girls' School Chapter, and Raleigh and Aria's Workshop, likely part of the Atelier Marie series, have methods for unlocking characters and obtaining items. Fighting games like Magical Hoppers and Magical Drop installments reveal button combinations to access hidden characters, special colors, or change backgrounds. Sports fans playing Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Slam Jam 96 can find codes for hidden teams. Even a golf title. Masters. Harukanaru Augusta 3, part of the PGA Tour series, has a secret demo viewer. Sound novels like Machi allow players to skip movies. Magic Knight Ray Earth includes details on unlocking a secret scenario and collecting hidden photos. Finally, racing enthusiasts playing Manx TT Superbike can unlock special bikes and even ride a sheep. The page is a goldmine for players looking to delve deeper into these Saturn classics. This page is loaded with more hidden techniques and secrets for a variety of SEGA Saturn games. First up, Metal Black players can boost their credits and access a hidden bonus stage. For fans of idol-themed mahjong, aim for Idol Star. Natsuhiro Memories Mahjong chapter offers ways to view hidden movies, potentially reduce your opponent's score, chat with instructor Sophia, and even unlock a secret Great Demon King rank. MechWarrior 2 pilots can input special passwords to unlock various effects, like increased stats, weight limit removal, unlimited ammo, heat management, unlimited jump jet use, and mission selection. Meanwhile, the survival game, Mujintu Monogatari R, details how to create the elusive, illusionary Chinese cuisine by mastering other dishes,
and explains the recipe parameters like difficulty, HP, trust, lust recovery, and required ingredients.
There's also a way to unlock a CG gallery mode in the shooter Multilancer, Galaxy Girl Police 2086. Baseball fans playing Burn! Pro Baseball 95 doubleheader can potentially play as the Dolphins and unlock the unique tornado pitching style. Metal Fighter Miku players can access a test mode and even find a trick to win against opponents they previously lost to. Finally, the creepy platformer Mr. Bones has a code for stage select, and the adventure game Myst lets you view a special making-of movie. It's clear this page is packed with ways to get more out of these Saturn titles.
This page unveils secrets for various SEGA Saturn games. Baseball titles feature ninth-inning starts and faster throws, with one game enabling sudden endings. Mortal Kombat 2 offers Switches mode, unlocking one-hit kills, hidden fighters, Jade, Noob Saibot, invincibility, CPU battles, and the Toasty message. Tips for Momotaro Densetsu series reveal hot spring events, art, and calendar-triggered special events awarding in-game currency. Other unlocks include the Great Demon King's Room in a Bomberman title, Claudia as a playable character in Battle Arena to Shinden, and a WHACA Mole minigame. Eternal Melody provides sound tests, title screen changes based on the clock, and second album details.
A mahjong game allows voice toggles and high-stakes races. Derby Stallion users can automate progress, rearrange stock lists, and use shortcuts.
Universal Nuts has a hidden graphic.
Rise 2. Resurrection unlocks Annal 8, Supervisor, Vitriol, and Mayhem via character select screen button sequences.
This page delves into techniques and secrets for several SEGA Saturn titles.
For Last Bronx, you'll find details on how to change weapons and add new difficulty settings by following specific steps after hearing all instructions in the Last Pro classroom. There's also a guide to unlock and utilize the Red Eye special moves, available after viewing all character introductions. For the Langrisser series, specifically Langrisser 2i and Langrisser Dramatic Edition, secrets include accessing a movie select and sound test from the title screen via button inputs, unlocking a hidden super shop during preparation screens, and a command to increase items. There are also methods described for scenario select and stage select, allowing players to revisit cleared stages. The main focus appears to be Langrisser IV. Here, you'll learn the conditions for achieving the true ending, involving meeting specific requirements by Scenario 34 and defeating an enemy with the main character. A strange confession event is noted as changing based on specific item purchases. The page also reveals how to activate an automatic placement mode for units and provides methods for unlocking several hidden scenarios, labeled 1 through 5, by meeting specific conditions, such as reaching certain map coordinates, interacting with characters, and completing specific story events. Another tip explains how to make Flare a companion, and there's a method to prevent MP from decreasing. This page delves into the Game Technique Laboratory, focusing heavily on secrets and tips for Langrisser V, the End of Legend. It details conditions for unlocking various hidden scenarios, such as reaching specific map locations, interacting with certain objects, like switches or treasure chests, and making particular dialogue choices. Additionally, the page provides useful information for specific scenarios, including how to acquire unique items like weapons, armor, or stat-boosting consumables by visiting certain map coordinates or interacting with NPCs. It also explains how to access bonus content, like a scenario select feature, a special shop with rare items by inputting a button sequence, and a sound test from the title screen, using a different button combination. Bonus files are also covered, mentioning that the game's CD contains extra data readable on a PC, such as bonus graphics, messages from the developers, and production notes. You can also listen to bonus music by playing the CD on a Saturn CD player. Finally, the page lists how to unlock hidden characters for selection by highlighting specific character slots and pressing button combinations, and reveals a parameter check screen accessible via a button sequence on the title screen. There are also brief mentions of Real Bout, Fatal Fury Special, and Refrain Love, though details for these are minimal on this page. This page continues the Game Technique Laboratory, offering a variety of secrets and tips for several SEGA Saturn titles. For Roommates series, it details how to trigger specific character events, like a shower scene by meeting certain playtime and in-game clock conditions, unlock a happy ending by achieving a specific number of accesses by a certain date, and access a bonus mode after viewing the ending. Several tips are provided for Rayman, including methods to instantly increase your remaining lives and remove the pose display during gameplay using button inputs. For the puzzle game Logic Puzzle Rainbow, techniques are shown to reveal all correct answers and even access a sudden ending by inputting passwords. Fans of Lost World Jurassic Park will find valuable information here, with passwords provided to unlock various character galleries and stage select options for different dinosaur types. It also mentions ways to view a hidden ending and a hidden movie. Mega Man 8 Metal Heroes tips cover how to obtain the Beam Saber and acquire hyperchips by completing specific objectives in the early stages of the game. There's also a tip for Mega Man X3 on removing the effect of a trap in race driving. Additional tips include details for race driving, such as marathon mode and accessing special stages, secrets for the Layer Section 2 shooter allowing unlimited continues and free credits, and score ranking display options for the Rayman Legend Returns section. This installment of the Game Technique Laboratory offers tips for several SEGA Saturn games. In Mega Man X4, unlockable content includes X's ultimate armor and a special color for Zero. World Advanced War Strategy 97 strategies cover battle, anime customization, hidden unit appearances, and enemy unit operation. World Heroes Perfect reveals how to change characters to chibi forms and a hint about Goku's appearance. Waku Waku 7 allows players to unlock turbo and calendar modes and character color variations. Wangan Dead Heat and Real Arrange offer money-making, level grinding, and unlockable night courses and cars. Wangan Trial Love shows how specific player names can influence relationships. Finally, Wonder 3 Arcade Gears provides pause screen commands for powerful effects, and Wanchai Connection gives event file select access. This page is an index of titles featured in the first part of SEGA Saturn Magazine Volume 24. It lists numerous game titles alphabetically organized by Japanese kana, showing the corresponding page numbers where coverage for each game can be found within the magazine. The index covers a wide variety of SEGA Saturn titles, providing a quick reference for readers to find information on specific games discussed in this volume. This page is a continuation of the magazine's comprehensive index, listing SEGA Saturn games alphabetically by Japanese syllabary. It covers titles starting with the sounds su, sei, so, ta, chi, tsu, and te. You'll find references here for a wide array of notable Saturn releases. Games like Saturn Bomberman Fight, Samurai Showdown 2 I and IV, Street Fighter Alpha and Alpha 2, the classic Snatcher, and compilation packs like Thunder Force Gold Pack 2 and Salamander Deluxe Pack Plus are listed. The index also highlights Sega's commitment to bringing arcade hits home, with multiple Sega Ages titles covering classics such as Outrun, Afterburner 2, Space Harrier, and Daytona USA, including the Circuit Edition. Strategy and simulation fans aren't left out with titles like Romance of the Three Kingdoms V, Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, and Tactics Ogre. Unique Saturn experiences like The Tower, Three Dirty Dwarves, and Die Hard Arcade, listed as Dynamite Deca, also appear. This page gives readers a quick way to locate detailed coverage on over 70 different SEGA Saturn games within the first part of the magazine, spanning pages 78-79 through 114. It's a valuable reference for any Saturn enthusiast looking to dive into the magazine's content. This page continues the extensive index for the SEGA Saturn magazine, Picking up from the to sound in the Japanese syllabary and running through fu, it serves as a comprehensive guide to locating coverage on a diverse range of SEGA Saturn titles within the magazine. Notable games listed include the survival horror classic Resident Evil, the iconic 3D platformer Nights into Dreams, and popular fighting series like Virtua Fighter, including Remix and 2, Virtua Fighter Kids, Fighting Vipers, Fighters Megamix, and Karnov's Revenge, listed as Fighters History Dynamite. The index also points to coverage for hits like Tomb Raider, Dragon Force, Dodonpachi, Burning Rangers, and various simulation and adventure titles, such as Tokimeki Memorial Entries and Nobunaga's Ambition games. Puzzle fans will find Puyo Puyo Sun. This section of the index demonstrates the vast library available on the Saturn, encompassing action, RPG, fighting, shooting, and simulation genres, guiding readers to detailed articles within the magazine. The next page continues the comprehensive index for SEGA Saturn games, picking up the listings starting from the mu sound and progressing through the Japanese syllabary. This section points readers to coverage on a wide array of titles, demonstrating the diverse library available on the system. You'll find notable entries for beloved arcade ports, like the iconic run-and-gun action of Metal Slug, the intense vertical shooter Galactic Attack, listed as Layer Section, and the unique fighting chaos of Waku Waku 7. The fighting genre is further represented by classics such as Mortal Kombat 2 Complete Edition, Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, and Last Bronx RPG, and strategy fans can locate articles on the tactical depth of the Langrisser series and the critically acclaimed Lunar Silver Star story. Action platformers like Rayman and several Mega Man titles, including X3, X4, and 8, are also indexed. The list rounds out with various simulation games, racing titles like Road Rash, and numerous Japanese exclusive adventure and puzzle games, all serving as a vital guide to exploring the vast content within the magazine. This page showcases official guidebooks from SoftBank Publishing for 3 notable SEGA Saturn titles. First up is the guide for Dragon Force Tukame Sarishi Daiichi ni. This essential guide dives deep into the popular simulation game, offering a complete strategy walkthrough. It covers everything from the wealth of unique events and characters to the intricate battle system, including troop types and special moves. You'll also find detailed information on internal affairs commands, character-specific events, and a comprehensive data section featuring full character and item lists, plus item synthesis methods. Next, we have the official guide for the acclaimed simulation RPG, Shining Force 2i. This book is packed with crucial data for players, including complete map data from the beginning to the final stage. It reveals the locations of hidden items and details appearing enemies, structured specifically to provide users with all the necessary information for their quest. Finally, the page highlights the official guide for multi-lane reinforce on the SEGA Saturn. This guide specifically covers the Saturn version, explaining changes made to battle scenes and detailing added new elements. It boasts increased page count, features interviews with the voice actors, and even includes 2 original trading cards and a paper with voice actor signatures, making it a must-have for fans. SoftBank Publishing's contact information is listed at the bottom for ordering these guides directly. This page features the 7th volume of composer Noriyuki Iwadere's column, Come On Everybody. Here, Iwadere dives into his recent work and experiences. He discusses the excitement around Sega's new hardware, the Dreamcast, and reveals his involvement in composing the music for the Dreamcast version of Mercurius Pretty, a fairy-raising game he previously worked on for PC-98. He recounts attending a Dreamcast press conference, mentioning the lively atmosphere, meeting fellow attendees, and seeing voice actress Kyoko Hikami MCING energetically. The column also highlights this week's recommended CD, featuring a personal album titled The Legend of Moonlight Circa MI. This album compiles music created using the Moonlight Circa MI software, originally a music creation tool for PC-98 that later transitioned to Mega Drive. The album includes tracks from various games Iwadere worked on or was associated with, such as titles from the Langrisser, Shining Force, and Lunar series. He expresses regret that this CD is not generally available for purchase. Finally, the page includes an equipment introduction section, where Iwadere reviews the Soundcraft Spirit Folio SX mixing console. He discusses its importance in his studio setup and offers his thoughts on its performance for producing quality game music. This page presents the Men's Empire column by Koji Hayama, the renowned composer widely known as Aniki among game music enthusiasts. Following the enthusiastic reception of his Super Aniki live events, Hayama tackles the subject of education, adopting a tone that is both repentant and reflective. He shares personal anecdotes from his school years, discussing his experiences with bullying and highlighting the significant influence of certain teachers, particularly mentioning a positive interaction with a teacher named Kubota-sensei, who helped him during a difficult time. Hayama emphasizes how crucial teachers' words can be, and offers his perspective on what he believes is lacking in the current educational landscape. He argues that students should learn to interpret lessons and build their own understanding based on the teacher's words, noting that the relationship between student and teacher should foster this growth. The column is accompanied by a photo of Hayama and information about his latest album, Taikoku, along with re-releases of his past works, including titles associated with the iconic Cho Aniki series, cementing his status as a key figure in game music. This page covers the exciting final league of the user-created team tournament for the game Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team on the SEGA Saturn. The top headline declares the arrival of the championship round and asks whose hands will claim the ultimate glory. The article details the tournament structure, explaining how 8 elite teams, assembled by dedicated players and given unique names like Fukuoka Daiei Hawks, Kitakatsuragi Buffaloes, and several teams named Sapporo Giants and Morioka Giants, have battled their way to this point. Each team, along with its creator, referred to as the owner, is highlighted with a screenshot showcasing their lineup and a brief description of their strengths and strategies used in the game's simulation matches. The text mentions the development staff of Yakyutsuku, as the game is known, were present, adding to the anticipation as the mystery behind the largest exciting stadium is finally set to be unveiled through these intense final matches. This page concludes the exciting Final League tournament from the previous issue for the game Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team. The results table shows the outcome of the simulation matches between the top 8 user-created teams. The headline proudly announces the championship winner, the Sapporo Giants, managed by Haruaki Miyasaka. The main article features a roundtable discussion with the game's development staff, the director, designer, and programmer, as they review the final league. They discuss the strategies employed by the top teams, reflect on game balance, particularly concerning parameters and player development, and even touch upon the possibility of a future title. Following this, passwords for the championship team, the Sapporo Giants, and another powerful team, dubbed the Foreign Legion, likely referring to the Morioka Giants from the table, are revealed. This allows players to input these passwords and experience the strength of these top-tier user creations firsthand within the game. Finally, a small announcement section details the prizes awarded to the tournament winner and the runner-up team, acknowledging their skill and dedication in mastering Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team. This page dives into the deep strategy required for Linda Cubed Kanzenban, specifically focusing on capturing all the creatures. Titled, Data Focus Strategy Daticus Volume 39, the main goal highlighted is achieving a capture complete by collecting all 120 creatures, which is necessary to unlock the true ending of this unique psychothriller and hunting RPG. The page features a detailed map of the South area, a significant part of the game world where many uncapturable enemies appear. The map provides coordinates and marks important locations for player reference. Descriptions are given for several key spots. Dogifa, known for its dogfighting arena. The Rose Garden, where you battle Madame Rose and can capture the rare Bata creature. Ragna Lodge, the residence of Dr. Emery. And Galax, a ruined animal research facility with a hidden shelter entrance. The guide also includes essential data like creature stats, HP, STR, Def, AGL, for creatures like Bata, Monshiro, Hachi, and Kuwagata, along with a key for shop types found in the area. This is clearly an indispensable guide for players determined to hunt down every beast and see everything this bizarre Saturn title has to offer. This document outlines a creature capture strategy, focusing on the ground animal data and a complete capture route. The ground animal data section catalogs creatures in the south area, including insects, leopards, and hippos, along with detailed stats. The guide emphasizes precise hunting due to specific appearance conditions. Path to complete capture of 120 species Part 1 prioritizes efficient time management, suggesting night raids and using shortcuts. The Scenario D Complete Clear Guide details a seasonal hunting route to achieve complete capture. It begins in summer 1998, with targets like whales, and progresses through autumn 1998, targeting koalas and hyenas. The guide continues seasonally, outlining areas and specific creatures needed for completion, providing a step-by-step path to encounter diverse creatures. This page provides a guide to dungeon animal data in Dragon Force 2, focusing on locations within the south area. It covers multiple dungeons, including Samakia, Holy Hole, Kakana Hotel, Florajam, and Coral Kalana. For each area, the guide details which creature types can be found, sometimes specifying locations within the dungeon or conditions like time of day or whether the area is submerged. The page lists detailed statistics for various units, referred to here as animals, including their level, HP, BP, strength, defense, and agility, often differentiating between male and female variants. It also lists items that can be obtained in these dungeons, such as gold, equipment like the King's Belt or Beast Necklace, and various other goods like tiger claws or different types of fruit. Key points highlighted include the presence of fixed location creatures that should be sought out, the importance of HP recovery due to traps in Coral Kalana, and the fact that some creatures like the Jirindu, Goratan, and Dariari are uncatchable. Small maps are included to help players navigate specific dungeon levels. The guide emphasizes the strategic importance of these locations for capturing units and progressing through the game. This page provides a comprehensive strategy guide for Lindicube Complete, focusing on dungeon exploration and the unique fast travel system. It details 2 challenging areas: the Sand Hole, a difficult navigate sandy labyrinth featuring creatures like armadillos and sharks, and the Dark River, a waterway connecting different regions known for its variety of catchable creatures, including snails and turtles. Detailed statistics for various monsters are presented, offering insights into their strengths and weaknesses. The guide also lists key items obtainable in these locations, such as the valuable King's Medal and specific beast statues. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to the Underground Eden area, providing a map and explaining the Red Pole teleportation network. This system allows travel between the surface and the underground using ancient pedestals activated by placing the correct beast statues, which are found throughout the game. The guide outlines 5 specific Red Pole locations, detailing which areas they connect, like surface K14 to underground K14, and the required beast statue color for each link, e.g., blue, red, black, gold, silver. It emphasizes the importance of understanding these connections, as there are no towns in the underground area. The page concludes with results from a speedrun contest from winter 1992, highlighting the game's historical context. This section of the Lindicube Complete Strategy Guide focuses on the Underground Eden area. It details creature locations, combat stats, and capture tactics for creatures like Tyranno, Lion, and Buffalo, organized by region. The guide offers specific encounter conditions, such as time-sensitive spawns and gender-specific requirements. A key tip advises patience, suggesting players scroll the screen or wait for creatures to appear. The guide then explores 2 dungeons, Gapia, H07, with warp zones and enemies like Anglerfish, and Meltpot, I11, featuring tough fixed encounters with the dragon and horned guy. These dungeons are crucial for collecting monsters, finding items like the Chivaler's Crown, Gapia, and Crown Series, and Poo items, Meltpot, essential for progressing through various scenarios. This page of the Lindicube Complete Strategy Guide delves into further areas of Underground Eden and connected dungeons. First up is Tyranno Terrace, a mountain area where you can find Tyranno eggs and potentially encounter the elusive chameleon by mimicking its cry. This location is also a source for valuable Crown Series items. Key creatures found here include swallowtail butterflies, chameleons, and spiders, with their combat stats detailed in the guide. Next is Fontana, a large dungeon centered around a waterfall. Hidden rooms behind the falls contain fixed enemies and items like the escape unit, white beast statue, crown of Shinkamal, and the powerful ring of Adama. Expect to encounter pufferfish and various flying animals here. Tricross is presented as a complex, multi-level dungeon essential for navigating Underground Eden via its numerous warp zones. Activating all warp zones using the Crown Series is crucial. While many creatures are common, the Tricera is a notable find here. The guide then covers Small Anubis and the main Anubis dungeon. Small Anubis, despite its name, features a massive floor filled with chess ships and is home to exceptionally strong and glowing enemies. The main Anubis dungeon is central to the game's story, filled with tricky warp zones and unique ring monsters. Maps for multiple floors of these challenging areas are provided, encouraging players to explore and find the hidden paths and items, like the Ring of Tudiar.
This page presents a reader survey designed to gather feedback and demographic information. It instructs readers on how to fill out the survey postcard, providing clear examples of how to correctly enter numerical responses using Arabic numerals and fill boxes from the left. The survey covers several key areas: reader demographics like gender, age, and occupation; gaming habits including the number of SEGA Saturn games owned and other gaming magazines read; opinions on future hardware pricing specifically for the upcoming Dreamcast; feedback on the content of the current magazine issue, asking readers to rank articles from a provided list; and finally, gathering information on planned future purchases of both hardware and software, referencing extensive numbered lists provided on the page for selection. This survey is a vital tool for the magazine to understand its readership and market trends, informing future content and potentially impacting product development and pricing strategies.
This page introduces Hudson's first Dreamcast title, Kita-e White Illumination, a romance-adventure game set in Hokkaido. The game follows the protagonist on a journey through Hokkaido, encountering various women. It's presented as a realistic depiction of a summer romance and travel experience, with authentic Hokkaido locations included. Beyond just the romantic narrative, the game aims to make players want to visit Hokkaido themselves after playing, featuring tourist guide elements. The core theme appears to revolve around the simple yet profound desire to be told, "I love you," encouraging players to revisit the courage needed to express such feelings. Scheduled for release in February 1999, with the price yet to be determined, this game promises a blend of travel simulation and heartfelt romance, featuring attractive character designs. It also includes a special Hokkaido travel guide feature. This page dives deeper into Hudson's Dreamcast love-adventure game, Kita-e White Illumination, detailing the experience of a high school protagonist on a 14-day summer trip through Hokkaido. Players will explore iconic real-world locations like Sapporo, Odori Park, and Furano, while encountering and building relationships with 8 distinct girls. The game emphasizes realistic communication and dialogue, rather than relying solely on parameter management, presenting the girls as complex characters with their own histories and environments. A notable feature highlighted is the characters' clothing changing depending on the situation, adding visual variety and depth. Creator Hiroi Oji's vision of a precious short summer and the concept of meaningful encounters form the core inspiration, grounded in authentic Hokkaido scenery, as seen in the visuals showcasing landscapes and character art in different attire. This page provides a deeper look at Hudson's Kita-e White Illumination, a captivating love-adventure game set in Hokkaido. Following up on the summer journey detailed previously, it reveals that the game includes a reunion during the winter break, featuring iconic Hokkaido locations, like Sapporo's Odori Park, adorned with its famous white illumination lights. The game employs an orthodox 2D visual style, chosen to maximize the depiction of realistic travel communication and character expression, rather than being limited by hardware specs. The Dreamcast's capabilities are noted for effectively rendering real-world Sapporo scenery. The page also highlights the development team, listing key staff members including original creator and general producer Hiroi Oji from Red, and director Ryuji Takebe from Hudson. Notably, it introduces Nochi from Red Company as the character designer, marking this as their debut work. Early character concept illustrations are shown, providing a glimpse into the initial vision for the game's heroines. These illustrations showcase various female characters in different outfits, reflecting the game's emphasis on detailed character depiction. The visuals include screenshots combining character art with backgrounds depicting locations like the Sapporo Prince Hotel and the nighttime view of Odori Park,
underscoring the game's commitment to grounding the narrative in authentic Hokkaido environments.
This page dives deeper into Hudson's Kita-e White Illumination, focusing on the main setting of Sapporo and introducing one of the key heroines. The large text expresses a character's fondness for the city, welcoming the player. It's explained that the game features 8 heroines, primarily residing in the Sapporo area, each with unique personalities and backgrounds, from a glassmaker to a self-defense officer. The page then specifically profiles Kotori Haruno, a 15-year-old high school student. She's presented as a relative of the protagonist, living in Sapporo, good at cooking and laundry, and known for being cheerful and well-liked. She affectionately calls the protagonist Ani-chan.
Serving as a guide to the game's world, the page highlights Sapporo itself as a major location. It points out landmarks like Odori Park, featuring the TV tower and statues, and the Sapporo Clock Tower. These real-world sites are noted as significant spots the player will encounter, potentially as meeting points within the game's narrative. The text emphasizes that the protagonist is expected to spend time here during their summer break, interacting with the heroines in these authentic Hokkaido environments.
This page continues the character introductions for Hudson's Kita-e White Illumination, highlighting two more heroines the player will meet during their summer in Hokkaido. First is Kawahara Ayu, a first-year high school student who is active in the tennis club. Known for being cheerful and proactive, she aspires to become a musician, having been encouraged to sing since childhood. She is also a friend of Haruno Kotori, who is profiled on the previous page. Her family runs a sushi restaurant in Susukino. Next is Tanya Lipinski, a 16-year-old Russian girl working at the Otaru Canal Glass Workshop and Crafts Museum. Although introverted and a crybaby, she possesses a strong core. Her hobby is walking, and she is driven by a desire to recreate the clear, warm, gentle red color of the sunset in glass, a color left behind by her father, who is also a glassmaker. The page also features a scenic image of the real-world Otaru Canal, indicating it's another key location in the game. The large text on the page speaks to having an exciting dream, and the passion for expressing that special red color through glass. This page continues introducing characters from Hudson's Dreamcast title set in Hokkaido. We meet Sakuramachi Yuko, a 20-year-old woman working for the Japan Air Self-Defense Force at Chitose Air Base. She is described as frank and unconcerned with minor details, with hobbies including cameras, especially their mechanical aspects, and riding her 750cc bike. Her dialogue suggests a complex view on criticism of the SDF, wishing it would lead to improvement, but lamenting public ignorance of the situation. The page also features a Hokkaido travel guide section, focusing on Sapporo locations that appear in the game, including Hitsujigaoka Observation Hill, with its famous drive, Clark Statue, the Hokudai Botanical Garden, Maruyama Zoo, mentioned as a potential date spot, and the beautiful former Hokkaido government office, where events like the Red Brick Music Festival are held. These are real places the player will visit. Finally, smaller images show early animation of Sakuramachi Yuko, with a note that she appears more boyish and cool in motion compared to her main illustration. This page continues introducing characters from the game Kita-e, set in Hokkaido, alongside a travel guide section. We're introduced to Sakyo Hayaka, a second-year high school student from Sapporo. The profile describes her as having a somewhat sulky attitude towards the world, and being rebellious, but also notes her pure and honest inner self. She helps out at her family's ramen shop at night, and is skilled at knitting.
The second character featured is Aida Megumi, a third-year middle school student who lives in BA. Her parents run a farm. She's depicted as bright and cheerful despite being a little clumsy. Megumi loves animals, caring for the cats and cows on the farm, and her hobbies include collecting picture books and stargazing. The text also mentions she is a cousin of Haruno Sumair, another character in the game. The Hokkaido travel guide section focuses on Otaru, detailing real locations that appear in the game. Recommended spots include the Ishihara Yujiro Memorial Hall, the glass studio where one of the characters works, the historic Bank of Japan Otaru branch, and the Otaru Port Marina. These are places players will visit during the game. The page features character artwork for Hayaka and Megumi, along with photographs of the Otaru locations. Phrases like, "Don't you want to see the world with both eyes?" and "The word goodbye means see you again, right?" are displayed vertically and horizontally, hinting at the game's themes. This guide introduces Shina Kaoru, a 24-year-old doctor from Sapporo, as part of the Kita-e Games Hokkaido travel series. Kaoru, voiced by Ryoko Shiraishi, is described as calm, composed, and enjoys driving, a Fiat Barchetta, and reading. The Sapporo 3 guide highlights locations like Asahiyama Memorial Park, known for its city views, and Hauhaiken, a historical building potentially significant to the game's plot, where Kaoru plans a wedding. The guide contrasts Sapporo with the natural beauty of BA and Furano, famous for their lavender fields. The text also references the Move on Hokkaido equals Voice from the North campaign, and the Kita-e White Illumination website. This page introduces Satonaka Kozue, a 16-year-old character from the game Kita-e White Illumination. Her profile lists her as a 2nd year high school student in Sapporo, 154 centimeters tall, 50 kilograms, AB blood type, with hobbies including cosplay, games, and PC communication. Described as a bit spoiled due to a privileged upbringing, she is skilled at drawing and aspires to be a game designer. The page features artwork of Kozue in a distinctive red outfit with cat ears and tail, alongside a quote from her. There's also a photo of the historical Hauhaiken building in Sapporo,
tying back to locations potentially featured in the game. Furthermore, the page announces the start of the Kita-e White Illumination radio show, a late-night drama airing on Bunka Hoso in Tokyo. Hosted by Ikue Otani and Sayeko Chiba, the voice actors for Megumi Aida and Kotori Haruno, the show explores the game's concept of expressing love, and includes segments highlighting Hokkaido. This page covers several topics related to Dreamcast anticipation. The top left introduces Dreamcast Now, hinting at upcoming content. The top right features this week's visual memory, showcasing detailed pixel art of Sagata Sanshiro, the iconic Sega character. The main focus is a reader poll titled, Manufacturers Requested to Enter Dreamcast Top 20. This list ranks game companies based on reader votes for who they want to develop for the upcoming Dreamcast console. The accompanying text, Square is strong, notes that the top spots are dominated by companies primarily associated with PlayStation hardware, specifically mentioning Square, Enix, and Namco, and commenting on the strong desire for these companies' software. The page then features a manufacturer spotlight on Taito. It discusses Taito's long history in the game industry, starting with classics like Space Invaders, and highlights their presence on Sega hardware. Sections detail their output on Mega Drive, 17 titles featuring Darius 2, Game Gear, 4 titles featuring Taito Chase HQ, and Saturn, 14 titles featuring Layer Section, known as Galactic Attack elsewhere. Screenshots of these representative titles are shown. Finally, the Satamaga Readers' Voices section presents comments from readers expressing which Taito games they hope to see ported to the Dreamcast, mentioning titles like Darius and Train by Go.
Taito is considering developing for the Dreamcast, confirming they received an invitation from Sega and are researching the console's technology. The interview focuses on potential titles, including a port of Psychic Force 2012, for which they plan to utilize the Dreamcast's capabilities beyond a simple port, potentially including modem features like karaoke data and game downloads. Taito is also exploring other genres, particularly shooting games like Darius, and are keen to use the Dreamcast's unique features. They are exploring the use of the Visual Memory System, VMS, for character data, or even a dedicated game. Mr. Suzuki thanks users for their anticipation, hinting at a possible reveal in the fall. The article also highlights Taito's powerful arcade hardware, noting the visual quality of Psychic Force 2012. The magazine predicts Taito's participation is highly likely, with a 90% chance. This page focuses on the Dreamcast and a potential remake of the quirky action RPG, Rent a Hero. The article highlights the game's unique modern setting, where the hero gets missions via modem, a feature that could translate well to Dreamcast's online capabilities. It discusses the demand for a remake of the game, originally on Genesis and later Saturn, praising its innovative gameplay despite not being a massive commercial success. The piece also details the original Genesis release, including its developer, AM2. The screenshots show the top-down perspective of the original game, a fighting game scene featuring a character known as a hidden character in Fighter's Megamix, and a poster from Virtua Fighter 2 Arcade, referencing Rent a Hero, showcasing the character's appearances across Sega titles. Below, the magazine presents the results of a reader poll predicting the average price of the Dreamcast console and its most popular nickname. The average predicted price is 26,229 yen. Readers gave various justifications for their price predictions.
The most popular nickname by far is Dorikyasu, with Doritosu and DC also ranking high. Finally, the page includes a call for reader submissions via postcard, asking for questions and opinions for future features.
This page gives us an exciting follow-up report on SMENK's upcoming handheld system, the Neo Geo Pocket. Fresh details are revealed, including a look at the standard built-in functions and, perhaps most notably, the confirmation that it can connect with the Sega Dreamcast using a dedicated adapter. Despite its compact size, the Neo Geo Pocket comes packed with features, as shown in the screenshots of the Pocket menu. This menu provides access to functions like a calendar, a world clock, a horoscope or fortune-telling feature, alarm settings, and system configuration. The report expresses confidence in SMENK's ability to deliver quality games, particularly highlighting that popular fighting series like the King of Fighters will be available from launch, ensuring the solid gameplay SNK is known for. The launch lineup is diverse, covering genres such as fighting, simulation, sports, puzzle, and table games. The Neo Geo Pocket is scheduled for release in late October 1998, with a predicted price of 6,800 yen. The revealed connectivity with the Dreamcast adds significant intrigue to the system.
Upcoming publications for Sakura Wars 2 include 2 guides from SoftBank Publishing. The SEGA Official Character Complete Strategy Guide, releasing in early September 1998 for 1,800 yen, offers 464 of 5 pages of character strategies, story summaries, and party information, all in color. The SEGA Official Original Art and Setting Materials Collection, priced at 2,000 yen and slated for late September 1998, features 160 A4 pages. It dives into character designs, storyboards, spirit armor, and demon machine soldier mechanics, and includes cast/staff interviews. A bonus appendix contains a new illustration and Imperial Theater papercraft.
These books provide fans with in-depth knowledge of gameplay and the game's artistic development.
This page serves as the table of contents for the magazine, titled SEGA Saturn Press. It features a large illustration of 3 anime-style characters, drawing or painting on a notepad, hinting at the creative and visual nature of games. The content is broken down into key sections, highlighting different types of game coverage. The special report section promises not to be missed information on anticipated titles. It lists major games such as Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Slayers Royal 2, and the final scenario of Shining Force 2-1. Scenario 3, The God of Destruction in the Ice Wall, along with other titles like Welcome to Pia Carrot 2 and Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition. Under Coming Soon Soft, the magazine previews upcoming releases, including Sapphire Snow, Shizen, and the classic arcade shooter sequel Strikers 1945-2, plus Cotton Boomerang and Simulation RPG Maker. The new release title section focuses on recent launches, featuring Capcom Generation Volume 2, Chronicles of Arthur, which brings classic arcade action to the Saturn, and Wizardry, Lilgamen Saga, offering a deep dive into the legendary dungeon crawler series. Finally, the complete guide section caters to dedicated players with in-depth strategy. It includes guides for Black/Matrix and Saturn Music School 2. The page effectively previews a diverse range of titles and features covered within the magazine.
This page features a special report on the eagerly anticipated sequel,
Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. As a simulation adventure game, it dives deeper into the relationships with the heroines introduced in the series. The article highlights the return of characters from the first game and introduces new elements. It promises a detailed look at the protagonist's relationship with Azusa, a key heroine, and teases exciting events, including glimpses of the heroines in swimsuits during sea and pool scenes. A dedicated section focuses on Azusa Hinamori, exploring her initial encounter, which led to her seemingly prickly attitude. Despite her declaration that she doesn't want to see the protagonist's face or hear his voice, suggesting a low opinion of him, the article hints that this is just one side of her. It suggests that if her reserve breaks and she opens her heart, she can show a completely different, smiling face, emphasizing that achieving this depends on the player's effort. The report confirms the game is published by NEC Interchannel, is rated for ages 18 and up, and comes on 2 Crydroms with support for the RAM cartridge.
This page continues the focus on Welcome to Pia Carrot
2, highlighting the character Tomomi. The article features her eagerly anticipated appearance in the iconic Pia Carrot uniform, explaining that while she's a middle school student, there's a specific reason for her wearing it, though it's kept a secret. She is portrayed as having a childlike appearance, but also a reliable side, and she seems to look up to the protagonist, needing to consult him. The page also delves into the dynamics between Tomomi and the friends introduced on the previous page, Yuki and Noriko. Despite being described as friends, there's a subtle tension, with Tomomi seemingly avoiding them, particularly Yuki, raising the question of whether they've had a disagreement. Another small section touches upon Tomomi's love for stuffed animals, and an incident that surprised her. Finally, a significant update is given on the SEGA Saturn version's opening movie.
It is announced that the new animation, which matches a cheerful melody, is nearing completion. The report emphasizes the high quality of the animation, stating it looks just as planned in the storyboards previously shown, making it interesting to compare the final scenes with the concept art.
This page continues the coverage of Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, focusing on a trip event. It details a planned trip to the sea with members of the Pia Carrot staff, including Azusa, Misaki, Tsukasa, Aioi, Ryuko, and the protagonist, taking place over 3 days in August. The article touches on small events during the trip, such as Tsukasa overpacking and the protagonist potentially driving instead of Akoi, who is described as a paper driver, leading to a lively atmosphere in the car. A notable segment covers a ghost story session held to cool down on a hot night. It highlights how some of the girls, particularly Akoi, are easily scared, with Akoi getting so into the stories she ends up crying. The screenshots effectively capture the tension and reactions of the characters during this event. Finally, the page introduces the minigames available in the SEGA Saturn version of the game. Popular minigames from the previous title return and are unlocked by obtaining items in the main story. The Saturn version also features unique minigames. Examples shown are a card game called High and Low, and an adventure game titled The Universe's Best Puppeteer, created by Shinji Yano. These minigames add replay value, with high scores unlocking special reward graphics. This page dives deeper into the summer events in Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. Shifting the focus to beach and pool activities, the article highlights a swimsuit special, showcasing the heroines in their summer attire. You see illustrations of characters like Tsukasa proudly showing off her cute swimsuit at the beach, and Sane appearing a bit self-conscious about her figure at the pool, contemplating if a one-piece would have been better than the bikini top and shorts she's wearing. The text touches on lighthearted moments, like the possibility of applying sunscreen for a character and being playfully teased. Moving to the pool section, it notes that pools offer a different kind of fun compared to the sea, mentioning opportunities for the protagonist to act manly from the diving board and potentially increase affection. A significant piece of information for Saturn fans is revealed. Welcome to Pia Carrot 2 supports the 4 MB RAM expansion cartridge. This compatibility, following Friends, is presented as a major plus, offering a smoother and more comfortable experience compared to playing without it. The game's title screen is shown, clearly indicating the 4 MB support. The page also includes a small note about trying new things and gaining experience, perhaps relating to the character's summer adventures or the player trying out different game aspects. This page delivers the highly anticipated announcement of Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter making its way to the SEGA Saturn. Following the exciting tag battle format introduced in the arcade, this crossover extravaganza pits iconic characters from Marvel Comics against the legendary fighters of Street Fighter. The dynamic artwork perfectly captures the chaotic energy of the game, showcasing a massive roster of fan favorites like Captain America, Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine, and Magneto clashing with Ryu, Chun-Li, Zangief, Morrigan, and even the unique addition Norimaru. It's a dream matchup come to life, promising over-the-top special moves and intense tag team action. The special report section confirms the game is from Capcom and is scheduled for an October release. Crucially for Saturn owners, it highlights 2 purchase options: the software alone, and a bundle that includes the essential 4 MB RAM expansion cartridge. The page makes it absolutely clear, stating that the 4 MB RAM cartridge is required to play the game, underscoring its technical demands and aligning with the trend seen with titles like Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, though here it's mandatory rather than optional for improvement. This means if you want to experience this Super Dreadnought tag match, the RAM cart is a must-have accessory. This page continues the excitement for Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter on the SEGA Saturn. The page prominently features the game's beautiful graphics, showcased through dynamic screenshots of intense tag team battles. It reaffirms the critical detail mentioned previously. The game is compatible with and requires the 4 MB RAM expansion cartridge. The accompanying text positions this title as the second tag battle game in the series, bringing together Street Fighter combatants and Marvel heroes, building upon the foundation laid by X-Men vs. Street Fighter. It highlights that the 4 MB RAM support enables a perfect reproduction of the arcade experience, capturing the fast-paced action and vibrant visuals without compromise. The page also draws attention to the arrival of beloved American comic book icons in the Versus series, including characters like Spider-Man, Captain America, and the Hulk, alongside returning favorites such as Wolverine, Ryu, Chun-Li, Zangief, Morrigan, and even the quirky Norimaru. Screenshots scattered across the page depict various characters clashing, from Spider-Man and Captain America to Shumagorath and others, underlining the diverse roster and chaotic, high-energy gameplay that fans expect. Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter introduces innovative tag battle mechanics. The variable assist allows players to call in partners for quick attacks. Core gameplay revolves around strategic tagging with variable attack for switching, variable counter for rescues, and the potent variable combination for joint hyper combos. The page highlights specific character moves, such as Ken's fiery hyper combo. A screenshot displays Spider-Man's web attack, A easy mode is introduced for beginners, simplifying controls for easier access to powerful moves. The Saturn version uniquely includes Ebisu Daikoku, a character from a Japanese TV show. More exclusive content for the Saturn release is promised in a future issue. This page features news on Capcom's latest arcade fighting game, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Continuing their tradition of innovative fighting systems seen in games like Marvel Super Heroes vs. Street Fighter, this title focuses on the unique stand mechanic from the popular manga series. The text explains that a stand acts like a second self, crucial for both offense and defense. Battles involve strategically utilizing your character and their stand, with special moves and guarding being key elements. Based on Part 3, Stardust Crusaders, familiar characters like Jotaro Kujo with Star Platinum and Noriaki Kakyoin with Hierophant Green are featured, showcasing signature moves like Jotaro's Rapid Punch Rush and Kakyoin's Emerald Splash, which are faithfully recreated. The page includes screenshots showing intense stand battles, character selection, and dramatic moments from the game. Notably, even smaller characters like Iggy are playable. The game runs on the powerful CP System 2i arcade board, promising a faithful adaptation of the manga's dynamic action. Stay tuned for more updates on this exciting new fighter. Slayers Royal 2 is set for release on September 3rd, published by Kadokawa Shoten/Especially. The RPG, priced at 6,800 yen, features a single-player experience suitable for all ages. The game's central mystery revolves around Alicia, a new character with potent magic and demon-controlling abilities. Alicia repeatedly clashes with Lena Inverse and her party, hindering their progress as they journey from Dorthouse to Reynard's. Her actions seem tied to a lost amulet, the recovery of which carries a substantial reward. Screenshots showcase character portraits, battle sequences, and dialogue with Alicia, who warns Lena to abandon her search for the amulet. The game features powerful enemies and wide-area spells, including the Dragon Slave spell, with its signature visual effects. The game is 100% complete, building on the anticipation for a new Slayers title, following the success of the Slayers film. The party arrives in Reynard City, capital of the Reynard Kingdom, in Slayers Royal 2, searching for Lena impersonators. The city, under lockdown, offers exploration opportunities and time-sensitive events. The primary objective is to locate the imposters, with a Lena double as the specific target. Players must investigate marked locations on the map to gather clues, often requiring interaction with townspeople and revisiting areas at different times of day. The mysterious Sorcerers Guild event provides an advantage, a late-night encounter with a suspicious necromancer who attacks with ghosts. Defeating the necromancer rewards the party with 10 gold coins. This battle also yields crystals that enhance character stats. Players should strategically distribute these crystals to boost attack, red, defense, yellow, hit rate, blue, and evasion, green, with the strategy to obtain crystals prioritized over speed. This page covers the continued adventures in Slayers Royal 2, focusing on finding the Lena imposter in Reynard City. The search leads to confronting the imposter, who turns out to be the comical Pico Pico Lina-chan. During the ensuing battle with Pico Pico Lina-chan golems, Naga comically casts her sleep spell, affecting everyone including herself. After being incapacitated, Lena and Guri are rescued by Sylphiel, a priestess skilled in healing white magic like resurrection. As they leave the city with Sylphiel, they are once again attacked by Alicia, the powerful sorceress. With the help of Sylphiel, the party engages Alicia in battle, ultimately defeating her again, highlighting the importance of teamwork and powerful spells like Dragon Slave. The page also touches upon gathering valuable information about the city's secrets, and presents a narrative choice regarding whether to share the situation with Sylphiel. This page continues the quest in Slayers Royal 2, as Lena and Gauri arrive in Doltout after parting ways with Sylphiel. Their immediate goal is to meet Robert, the client for the amulet, but Naga is nowhere to be found, forcing them to search for her again. They gather information from Robert and Greg regarding the amulet and the town's history. During their search, they encounter Elena, a girl who bears a striking resemblance to Lena, but is described as shy and weak-willed, yet possesses surprising magical prowess, including a powerful blast bomb spell. A confrontation ensues involving Elena, Naga, and possibly Grace, who seems to rival Guri.
Naga's unpredictable magic intervenes, leading to a chaotic battle. After recovering the amulet and receiving a reward from Robert, Lena is tasked with a new, challenging quest, investigating 6 towers built by an ancient sorcerer. On their way to the towers, they are attacked by Naga once more, but her behavior is erratic. It turns out Naga has lost her memory due to the previous magical interference. Surprisingly, the amnesiac Naga joins the party, setting the stage for new adventures as they head towards the mysterious towers. The page hints that even without her memory, Naga might prove to be an unexpectedly helpful ally. This page brings exciting news for Saturn owners. Following its success on the PlayStation, the popular communication adventure game Noel is coming to the SEGA Saturn with Noel 3. This special report confirms the game is currently 50% complete and is being developed as an adventure title, focusing on enjoying conversations with 3 unique girls. Noel 3 builds upon the highly regarded conversation system and animation quality of the original PS release and the subsequent title, La Neige. While retaining the core communication gameplay, this new entry introduces an adventure element where players must rescue hostages from terrorists. The story unfolds through computer hacking and interaction. Returning as the main characters are the beloved trio from the first Noel, Kyoko Shimizu, Yukari Okano, and Sae Sasakura. The game promises a fresh look at these familiar faces under the stressful circumstances of being held hostage. The visuals are highlighted, particularly the smooth animation within the visual phone communication system, which allows players to interact with the heroines. The report suggests that this Saturn version is a must-see, promising a deep dive into the game's setting and systems, including an interview with the developer. This looks like a compelling blend of character interaction and thrilling adventure for Saturn fans. This page details the thrilling adventure awaiting players in Noel 3, Terrorist Christmas. The game shifts gears from the series' typical communication focus to a high-stakes rescue operation. The plot unfolds on Christmas Eve at the Aqua Tower, where a terrorist group known as Final Peace has taken over, holding students from Yukari Okano's high school class hostage during their Christmas party. Players take on the role of a remote operative who must utilize hacking skills to infiltrate the tower's computer systems and guide the rescue effort. The gameplay revolves around actions like network hacking, accessing the database for information, and executing various actions to either rescue hostages or obstruct the terrorists. These actions are supported by an AI system, but players must also contend with obstruction elements like a strict time limit and the terrorist side actions. Returning as the central figures are the familiar heroines, Kyoko Shimizu, the active and sociable type, Yukari Okano, who despite her cool demeanor, reveals a naive side and plays a crucial role due to her interest in mechanics, and Sae Sasakura, the competitive yet shy character, particularly awkward around men. The page features character art for all 3, along with glimpses of the game's UI, including hacking screens and camera views, highlighting the blend of remote technical operation and character interaction through the signature chat animation system. This entry promises a dramatic departure, plunging the beloved characters into a dangerous situation that players must navigate remotely. This page delves into the critical systems players will employ for information gathering and interaction during the tense rescue operation in Noel 3, Terrorist Christmas. The core interface is the main screen, centered around the KANK's personal auto-navigation camera system. A key component is Arisa Ver 2.0, an AI operating system created by Yukari Okano, which assists in hacking and provides support with a human-like voice. For reconnaissance, players utilize the remote control camera Omoide-kun, a floating camera previously used for recording, now vital for locating hostages and tracking the terrorists within the Aqua Tower. To navigate the tower's network, players deploy computer viruses called Nano-kun, small programs capable of hacking other computers. These come in different types: working, careful, and attack, each with distinct functions. Communication with the heroines and gathering crucial intel is done via the visual phone. This system incorporates the unique conversation ball mechanic, where dialogue direction is determined by selecting specific balls that appear. The page emphasizes that choosing the correct conversation path is paramount to achieving the rescue objective. The visual phone also serves as a source for external information, allowing players to view news reports, which provide valuable context and clues for the mission. All these interconnected systems are indispensable tools for the remote operative, guiding the rescue effort against the Final Peace terrorists. This page features a special interview with Mayumi Izuka, the voice actress for Yukari Okano in the Noel series. Izuka shares her thoughts on portraying Yukari in Noel 3,
Terrorist Christmas, noting how the change in the game's situation necessitates a different approach, with Yukari taking on a more active, almost detective-like role due to her interaction with the game's computer systems. She expresses a desire for players to see Yukari's honest emotions and her resolve to help, contrasting it with the character's typically reserved nature. Izuka also touches on the recording process and a message to readers, conveying her excitement about the game being available on the SEGA Saturn. The page also provides a brief discography section detailing Mayumi Izuka's first 2 albums, Kata Omoi and Mint to Kuchibue, highlighting their concepts and release information. Lastly, a small section announces a giveaway, where readers can win signed items from Mayumi Izuka. This page features a preview of Monster Maker Holy Dagger for the SEGA Saturn. The article highlights a new battle of light and darkness unfolding in this latest entry in the long-running Monster Maker series, which originated as a card game and expanded into console titles. The story involves Prince Eos and his cousin Macduff rushing home to aid against an orc invasion, leading to a surprising revelation about the orc's true objective. Unlike previous RPG entries in the series, Holy Dagger is described as a combat simulation, utilizing a 3D field, showcased through small gameplay screenshots. Published by NEC Interchannel, the game is priced at 6,800 yen, though the release date remains undecided. Development has been ongoing for over 2.5 years since its initial announcement, with hints of why the delay occurred. This page delves deeper into the world of Monster Maker Holy Dagger, introducing us to the key players. We see character artwork for the central figures: Prince Eos of Zolaria, his fiancée, Princess Maria of Macedonia, and his cousin, Grand Duke Macduff of Zolaria. Alongside their charming, super deformed designs, the page provides details about their personalities. Eftios is portrayed as gentle and dislikes fighting, while Macduff is his warlike counterpart. Maria is described as having a kind heart but also a strong will. Small images provide glimpses of the game's presentation, including a pixelated dialogue scene and a shot of the 3D battlefield featuring character sprites and a castle environment, offering a clearer look at the game's combat simulation style mentioned previously. This page continues the coverage of Monster Maker Holy Dagger, focusing on its tactical battle system, which promises infinite possibilities by moving away from traditional genre confines. The game utilizes a 3D battlefield, a first for the series, allowing for a variety of tactical approaches that leverage the environment. This includes strategic positioning on higher ground for increased damage or interacting with terrain elements, like rolling objects down slopes. A significant feature is the free camera control, allowing players to switch viewpoints at any time to survey the detailed 360-degree field, find hidden paths, or gain tactical insights. The game field itself incorporates diverse terrain types, such as battles on ships, sloped city streets, and bridges, each offering unique tactical considerations. Additionally, the page highlights the return of beloved characters from previous Monster Maker titles who will join the protagonist. Featured allies include Elsith, a brave elven archer drawing power from nature, and Laliane, a long-lived elf known for her curious nature and penchant for causing a little trouble. The screenshots provide glimpses of the tactical map from various angles and showcase the different environments where combat takes place. This page delves deeper into the tactical gameplay of Monster Maker Holy Dagger, highlighting the action frame input system. This innovative approach breaks away from the standard turn-based structure, allowing characters to perform multiple actions per turn based on their agility. This means faster characters can unleash consecutive attacks or execute hit-and-away tactics, enabling incredibly varied and strategic combat possibilities depending on how you combine units and actions. The content suggests this system offers significant tactical depth that rewards careful planning. Screenshots illustrate the tactical movement and combat on the 3D battlefield, showing units engaging in different environments. The page also covers event scenes, which are primarily presented through dialogue screens featuring character illustrations. The text points out the distinct art style, likely familiar to series fans. Furthermore, several key characters joining the protagonist are introduced with profiles and illustrations. These include Rufina, a wizard and sister to Vishnus; Diane, a just and cheerful warrior with a hidden side; Vishnus, a blind but powerful mage and fortune teller known for her elegance; and Milienne, a kind girl who has become a warrior, wearing her sister's attire. Finally, A section on magic and monsters touches upon the ability to summon monsters using magic, and even make them stronger, accompanied by illustrations of what appear to be monster concept sketches, presented as cards. This page dives into the SEGA Saturn game Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years. It's highlighted as a special report, suggesting excitement for the upcoming release. The prominent artwork features key characters, including the fan-favorite Ruri Hoshino, alongside the titular battleship, the Nadesico. Presented as a hot-blooded love novel and a sound novel, the game is more than just a simple read. It's described as having substantial gameplay elements. The story is confirmed to link with both the Martian successor Nadesico TV series and the movie, promising a narrative that fits within the established universe rather than being a mere side story. The article points out that even the main illustration contains hints about the game's core themes or plot points. Key details provided are the release date of September 23rd, a price of 6,800 yen. It's a single-player adventure game on 2 Crindroms, and it's recommended for all ages. The content specifically calls attention to Ruri Hoshino, noting her appearance in the game's illustration feels like a blend of her TV and movie looks, and speculating on her potential role, perhaps even as the captain. The game is clearly positioned as a must-play for fans looking to explore the Nadesico world further on the Saturn. Martian successor Nadesico. The blank of 3 years features prominent romance simulation elements. As a player with amnesia, you'll navigate relationships with characters like Eureka, Ruri, and Irina. A core mechanic is the personality matrix, where choices shape your character's traits: cold, active, passive, burning, influencing female characters' perceptions and scenario progression. Compatibility is tracked through the feeling data screen. A unique, hot-blooded gaze time mechanic lets you deepen relationships by strategically staring at characters within a time limit. Beyond the dating sim, the game expands the Nadesico universe, resolving mysteries from the TV series and potentially the movie. It aims to explore events after the show and address unresolved plot points, promising a story deeply integrated with the established lore.
This page features a special report on Shining Force 2I Scenario 3, titled God's Evil Shrine of the Water Barrier, urging players to participate in the Battle of Light. It highlights the convergence of stories from the previous scenarios into a grand narrative. The page introduces Chapter 1, The Shadow Attacking Dystonia, and features the character scholar described as the priest with 2 faces, along with Gracia, the divine child, and the significant artifact, the Staff of Besom. Scholar is depicted in a large character portrait, and is noted as a key figure in the resistance against the Empire. Screenshots showcase the game's tactical isometric battles and magic effects. A special report tag declares the game is 100% complete, indicating it's ready for release. This page delves into the branching paths and interconnected stories of Shining Force 2I, highlighting the synchronicity system. This core feature allows choices made in previous scenarios to profoundly alter the future narrative and character recruitment in Scenario 3. The diagram illustrates how decisions regarding Stella's fate in Scenario 2 directly impact whether characters like Ekiwaru or Isabella join your party in Scenario 3 in the initial town. It also shows how Profound's actions influence Ekiwaru's status as a starting member. Depending on these choices, the structure of later battles and the overall flow of the story will change significantly. The page also introduces Onesty, a Pegasus Knight from Scenario 2, who plays a crucial role in Scenario 3. Other sections cover the game's detailed and interconnected events, emphasizing the depth of the subquests and their impact. The system section highlights improvements like faster cursor movement and the ability to inherit save data from Scenario 1 and Scenario 2, allowing players to experience different outcomes based on their previous playthroughs. Finally, a monster file provides a brief look at 2 enemies encountered in Scenario 3, the aquatic killer fish and the powerful undead blobber. This page is a special report and strategy document for the strategy simulation game Mobile Suit Gundam: Guren's Ambition. It highlights a bonus data disc for the game, released by Bandai on October 1st for 2,800 yen, playable by 1 person, and recommended for all ages. The main article explains that Guren's Ambition simulates the if scenarios of the 1-year war from Mobile Suit Gundam. Players command either the Earth Federation Army or the Principality of Zeon under Guren Zabi, engaging in deep strategic management beyond just combat, including unit production, movement, investing in intelligence, new weapon development, and personnel decisions. The game also features newly drawn animation sequences,
including scenes not shown in the original TV series or videos, such as the pivotal Battle of Ludam. Screenshots show both a strategic map view and ground combat. Additionally, the page announces the start of the Gundam Big Bang project, commemorating the upcoming 20th anniversary of Mobile Suit Gundam. This project includes future initiatives like the live-action Gay Savior, which utilizes Hollywood's CG technology, and a planned new television series. Note that this bonus data disc requires the base game, Mobile Suit Gundam, Guren's Ambition, to be used. This page details the bonus data disc for Mobile Suit Gundam, Guren's Ambition, designed to add replayability and content for all types of players. For beginners, there's a mode that starts with all weapon development complete, letting you jump straight into the strategic combat without the research phase. Expert players can face a tougher challenge, with increased enemy starting forces and resources. For the truly hardcore fans, a Mania mode lets you recreate famous battles from the original series, with historically accurate unit placements,
offering the chance to see if you can change the course of events in scenarios like the Battle of Odessa or the Solomon campaign.
Can you, as Revel or Gichen, achieve victory in these pivotal moments? Finally, a comprehensive database is included, featuring animated sequences, including newly drawn scenes not seen before, and a glossary of terms from the Gundam universe. This is a must-see for any fan wanting to delve deeper into the lore and visuals.
The screenshots show various gameplay views and some of the animated content.
This page introduces Ruriro no Yuki, lapis lazuli-colored snow, a romance-adventure game developed by Kid. It tells the story of a protagonist who moves into a cheap apartment rumored to be haunted, only to find a snow woman named Ruri living there instead, kicking off a strange cohabitation life. The page features multiple anime-style illustrations of female characters, including Ruri in traditional dress and a girl in a bath towel, as well as a screenshot showing a character interaction. The game is described as a romance adventure, focusing on the peculiar life shared between the protagonist and Ruri. The SEGA Saturn version is noted to include significant revisions to events and additional graphics, promising elements enjoyable even for those who played the original. Anticipation is also mentioned for the voice acting performances. A sidebar provides key details. The publisher is Kid. The game is scheduled for release this winter, priced at 6,800 yen, and is recommended for players aged 18 and over. Humorous character notes for Ruri are included, mentioning her unknown age, blonde hair with Japanese clothing, inability to be hugged due to low body temperature, and unusual favorite foods like ice cream bento. This page features the romance-adventure game She's Anin, developed by Kid and coming soon to SEGA Saturn. It's presented as an omnibus collection, weaving together 4 distinct romance dramas across the changing seasons. You get a glimpse of the heroines for each season: Ayano Hijiri for spring, Yu Utsugi for summer, Kirai Tendu for autumn, and Suzu Otojure for winter, each with accompanying illustrations depicting their scenarios, from a shy girl peeking through a door to vibrant scenes of summer fun and school events. The game features a multi-scenario system, offering different outcomes based on your choices. This SEGA Saturn version is a port from the PC, but includes substantial additions, boasting many newly drawn CG illustrations and entirely new scenarios to explore, promising a fresh experience, even for those familiar with the original. It's an 18+ recommended title from Kid, priced at 6,800 yen, slated for release this winter. It looks like a solid collection of emotional stories, perfect for fans of romance adventures. The next page introduces 6-Inch My Darling, a charming adventure game from Kid, currently 40% complete and scheduled for a winter release. The premise is quite unique. You discover a small box containing tiny girls, around 15 centimeters tall, and your goal is to help them become human. It sounds like a delightful blend of fantasy and everyday life, dealing with the challenges of hiding these diminutive companions from family. The game features full voice acting and expressive characters, adding to the immersion. You'll meet 3 distinct girls. There's Pim, who is mischievous, competitive, and very active, always wanting to stretch out and play. Then there's Minty, a mysterious girl who speaks with a Kansai dialect and wears a peculiar cat costume, perhaps finding comfort or inspiration in feline behavior. Finally, Etosera appears serious and calm, like an honor student, though the text hints that connecting with her might be the most challenging, despite her straightforward nature, especially regarding romance. The page gives you a great look at their designs and hints at their personalities, promising a heartwarming and potentially humorous adventure. This page is about the SEGA Saturn RPG How to Become a Magician, which is coming soon. Set for release on August 27th for 6,800 yen. It's a raising simulation where your goal is to train 3 aspiring witches, Berry, Nuts, and Lime, helping them grow into splendid magic users. The core gameplay revolves around completing tasks set by the master. The setting is the island at the end of the world, a crucial location for gathering the necessary materials. To create magic, you first study the technique, identify and gather the required materials, mix them together, and finally record the results in a scroll at the laboratory. The game emphasizes gaining experience through this process.
An interesting point is that the difficulty varies depending on which of the 3 girls you choose to train. For instance, Lime is presented as easier, while Nuts is more challenging, affecting the hints you receive from the master. The game offers 3 different scenarios, or endings, featuring voice acting for these conclusions by experienced actors like Masuyama Aiko. The variable difficulty and scenarios mean you can play through the game multiple times with a fresh experience. The page shows screenshots of learning from the master, obtaining recipes, searching for materials, and the mixing process. Strikers 1945-2, a classic arcade shooter, is coming to the SEGA Saturn on October 22nd for 5,800 yen. This port emphasizes the pure shooting game experience, with simple shot and bomb controls, but surprising depth. A key new feature is the charge shot system, allowing players to unleash powerful attacks by charging their shots across 3 levels. The game features 8 stages, with the first 4 appearing randomly, influencing difficulty and boss encounters. Players can choose from 6 unique aircraft: P-38 Lightning, F-5U Flying Pancake, Fokker Take 152, Ki-84 Hayate, Frank, J-7W Shinden, Magnificent Lightning, and DH.98 Mosquito, each with distinct characteristics affecting speed, main shot, subweapon, and bomb. To life. The Fokker Take 152's charge shot creates plasma mines, while the J-7W Shinden has a dive bomb. The Ki-84 is recommended for beginners. The developer is aiming for an arcade-perfect port. This page is all about Cotton Boomerang, the sequel to Cotton 2, making its way to the SEGA Saturn. The big news is the revamp of the system. It's no longer a simple health bar. Now damage is tied to getting hit, adding a new layer of challenge. They've also introduced a team system where you pick 3 out of 8 characters, though it seems only Cotton and Silk are playable in the mode shown. The game retains familiar elements like rapid fire and charge shots, but there are exciting new additions. You can now use a punch attack that can even deflect enemy bullets and knock back foes. Magic, which was a bomb in the previous game, is now a charge shot you can unleash after holding down the button. A significant defensive addition is a barrier that can block any single enemy attack. The page also introduces some of the characters you can play as. There's the candy-loving witch Cotton, her fairy companion Silk, the former Princess Apricots, and Needle, the spirit residing in Apricot's hat. The screenshots show off the character selection screen and intense side-scrolling shooter action featuring various enemies and bosses. It's launching on October 8th for 4,800 yen, supporting up to 2 players simultaneously. The next page is dedicated to a hands-on report of the Simulation RPG Maker tool for the SEGA Saturn. This software empowers users to create their own tactical role-playing games. The article provides a detailed breakdown of the development process using the tool's various editors: map and event creation, character design, job definitions, unit formation setup, and item management. The staff member testing the tool shares their experience, noting that while setting up characters and maps was relatively intuitive, the deeper scripting for events and dialogue proved more challenging. They relied heavily on studying the included sample game data to understand the tool's capabilities. The sample game itself features a scenario where humans dominate the world and hunt deformed beings, offering a glimpse into the kinds of stories and settings that can be brought to life. Ultimately, the report highlights that the Simulation RPG Maker offers immense creative freedom for aspiring game developers, allowing for intricate customization of character jobs, unit compositions, and scenario details. However, it also emphasizes that creating a compelling game requires significant dedication and effort, particularly in crafting the narrative and scripting complex events. This tool is for those serious about bringing their own tactical RPG vision to the Saturn. The SEGA Saturn saw the release of 2 notable collections. Capcom Generation Volume 2. Ghosts and Goblins compiles 3 challenging action games: Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Players, as Knight Arthur,
Battle through demonic realms to rescue the princess. This collection, boasting a 95% rating, features tough gameplay, weapon variety, and bonus content like design documents. Screenshots highlight the visual and gameplay evolution across the titles. Wizardry Logoman Saga presents a collection of classic, influential wizardry dungeon-crawling RPGs. This version includes updated graphics, sound, new dungeons, and features like autosave.
Players can choose different graphical styles and access a museum mode. The collection, rated 75%, offers a challenging 3D dungeon exploration experience suitable for both newcomers and returning fans. This page dives into a strategy guide for Black/Matrix, a simulation RPG from NEC Interchannel. It's the first chapter, focusing on how to raise your character's parameters. The game features various actions you can take in town, and many of these directly influence character stats. Mini-games like wood chopping and fishing are highlighted as having a particularly strong impact. A key tip mentioned is to pay close attention to the heroine's reaction during these activities, as surprising or pleasing her leads to bigger stat boosts. The guide also reveals some juicy details for the mid-game, including the existence of a hidden sixth master character named Zero, who is male. Combat strategy is discussed next, recommending players focus on a character proficient in magic early on due to the game's difficulty. Leveraging weapon types is also crucial. The guide suggests utilizing the range of bows to attack enemies without fear of counterattack, especially with characters like Pilipo early in the game. The guide includes tables detailing when various actions can be performed throughout the year and which stats they influence, covering activities from reading to cleaning and minigames, affecting parameters like int, HP, VIT, STR, Dex, and BP. Other tips include the importance of branching story choices and using free battles for training if your party's strength isn't sufficient for the main story. Experience gains in battle are tied simply to the number of enemies defeated. The next page continues the strategy guide for Black/Matrix, moving into the intricacies of the magic system. It provides a list of available spells, categorized by attribute like dark, light, fire, water, and lightning, detailing their effects, and blood point, BP, costs. A major focus is the dynamic relationship between magic and the game's biorhythm system. Magic's power and duration are not fixed but change based on the in-game time, which is linked to these different attributes. Charts are included to show how the effectiveness of spells fluctuates throughout the 24-hour cycle for each attribute, sometimes doubling in power or lasting twice as long depending on the timing. Understanding these daily curves is presented as fundamental for any successful mage. The page also explains the role of field spirits.
These spirits reside in specific map locations and automatically appear to boost magic when a spell's area of effect includes their position. Finding and utilizing these spirit spots can significantly enhance your magic's impact. Further clarification is given on the biorhythm attributes, emphasizing that they represent time periods rather than magic elements themselves, a potentially confusing point for players. The guide describes the general patterns and stability of each time attribute's fluctuation, urging players to time their spells strategically with the biorhythm to maximize results and manage their BP effectively. This page delves into the strategy for Black/Matrix, focusing on character progression and early game chapters. It provides guidance for Chapter 2, emphasizing leveling up Piripo for its battles and mentioning Yotafane joining. Chapter 3 covers a branching path, weak shop items, and where to find better gear, noting Rubelvi's healing magic. Chapter 4 highlights the expensive items in the City of Greed and advises getting items from battles instead, also detailing a crucial choice to return to town. The guide discusses character growth, suggesting a balance between melee and magic users. It recommends focusing on STR for fighters like Rubilvi, Piripo, and Gaius, while magic users like Yofane and Rubilvi should prioritize int and BP. The importance of VIT for HP and defense is also stressed. A key section introduces how to recruit various female subcharacters like Gel, Arkine, Parody, Duna, and Tarsus, listing their specific requirements, often tied to battle outcomes or dialogue choices. Battle ranks shown after combat are mentioned as an indicator of skill, particularly significant in advanced mode. The page concludes by explaining the advantages provided by core stats: STR for attack, Dex for hit/evasion/movement, int for BP, and VIT for defense per horsepower. Item lists are included for each chapter's available gear and battle drops. This page continues the comprehensive strategy guide for Black/Matrix, focusing on advancing through chapters 5 and 6 and introducing the critical concept of latent abilities. Chapter 5, City of Gluttony Canaan, and Chapter 6, Beyond the Hills of Narcissus and Tegeta, involve returning to towns and engaging in shopping. The guide advises against splurging early in Chapter 5, suggesting patience and saving resources.
In Chapter 6, after revisiting a town, the player can finally shop properly.
A key decision point is highlighted, recommending the player choose the option, I want time, to ensure optimal progression. A major mechanic introduced is latent abilities, hidden powers within weapons, and items that significantly enhance combat. These abilities are unlocked through a process called blood donation, where characters sacrifice BP. The guide stresses the importance of doing this frequently, and suggests saving before donating BP to reload if the resulting ability isn't desirable, as the outcome is probabilistic. Items can possess multiple latent abilities. A comprehensive list of these abilities is presented, detailing various effects ranging from stat increases and HP/BP absorption
to evasion boosts and unique attack properties like piercing or multi-level hits.
Item lists for both chapters are also provided, outlining the gear available for purchase or found during gameplay, including special items that appear after specific story choices. Understanding and utilizing these latent abilities is crucial for gaining an edge in the challenging battles ahead.
This page delves into Saturn Music School 2, a unique music creation and learning tool for the Sega Saturn.
This software allows users to compose music and practice playing instruments using the Saturn's sound capabilities. A key differentiator is the included MIDI interface, enabling connectivity with external MIDI-compatible instruments, allowing for real-time input. The software features modes for learning, such as structured lessons and finger practice exercises. Let's play! It also includes a masterpiece album, where users can play famous songs and get scored.
For composition, the Let's Create
mode utilizes the full potential of the Saturn's sound source, supporting up to 16 tracks and 32 simultaneous voices. A highlight of this page is an interview with the renowned game creator Kenji Ino, best known for the games D and D2. Ino discusses his personal connection to music, tracing back to playing the organ in elementary school. He tries out Saturn Music School 2, challenging the masterpiece album with the song Riding. He also experiments with the creation mode, aiming to input the theme song for his upcoming game, D2. Ino shares his perspective, stating that music is something that moves you forward with surprise, joy, and emotion. The page includes screenshots showing the software's musical interface and piano roll, along with pictures of Kenji Ino interacting with the software and a connected keyboard. Saturn Music School 2, released by Waka, offered a comprehensive platform for musical expression on the console. This page continues exploring the capabilities of Saturn Music School 2, specifically diving into the composition process that Kenji Ino started on the previous page for his game D2's theme. It walks users through the steps needed to create music from scratch. First, the guide shows how to set up fundamental musical parameters like the key signature, time signature, and tempo, which is crucial before adding notes. It then demonstrates how to select different instrument sounds for your tracks, utilizing the software's sound library. Inputting notes is covered, highlighting that while pad input is the basic method, the software encourages efficient workflows. A significant time-saving tip is demonstrated, using the copy and paste function to duplicate repeated musical phrases, like copying bars from the piano track at measure 73 to measure 81, making composition much faster. Once the notes are in, the guide moves to finishing touches. This includes setting up repeat sections to loop parts of your composition and adjusting the volume and stereo balance, panning, for each instrument track. Fine-tuning these elements helps create a richer, more dynamic sound.
Finally, Kenji Ino offers valuable advice.
He emphasizes that true musical expression comes not just from hitting the right notes, but from considering the dynamics and feel, like how a live musician breathes while playing. He suggests adding subtle variations or panning effects to give the music a natural groove, encouraging users to experiment and understand how these adjustments shape the final piece. This page dives into Falcom Classics 2 for the Sega Saturn, focusing primarily on Azteca 2, the Temple of the Sun, which is part of this collection. It highlights how the game retains the original point-and-click investigation style while receiving a complete graphical overhaul. The developers aim to remake the visuals without losing the unique atmosphere of the original, and the screenshots show a significant improvement, looking much more beautiful compared to the earlier versions. The article showcases various locations within the game, including an overhead map view, indoor navigation, and specific areas like the Hall of 1,000 Pillars and the Southern Spring. It also points out specific interactive elements, or spots, within the environment. A notable change mentioned is how many key events in the game, unlike the original, are now presented using movie sequences, enhancing the storytelling. The page makes it clear that while the core gameplay loop of exploring ruins, investigating mysteries, and using items remains true to the original, the presentation has been dramatically updated for the Saturn. This article reviews the SEGA Saturn port of YS2, part of the Falcom Classics 2 collection. It highlights the game's inclusion, featuring some voice dialogue and opening animations still in development. The walkthrough covers the early gameplay, beginning in a ranch village where Adol meets Lilia. He then seeks a doctor, Flair, who has left the village. Adol explores the nearby ruins, acquiring items and discovering secrets, including a goddess statue.
He then enters the Rasti Mines, a dangerous environment.
The journey culminates in encountering a divine priest statue and the first boss, Veligander. The article ends by teasing the challenges ahead. Can Adol retrieve the books and cure Lilia?
The screenshots showcase the visual updates of the Saturn port.
This page dives into the voice recording session for Falcom Classics 2, YS2. It features interviews with the voice actresses for 3 key characters, Fina, Leah, and Lilia. Rei Sakuma, who voices Fina, talks about portraying the character's mix of divine and human aspects, and the challenge of performing game dialogue alone compared to anime. Mami Higashiyama discusses her dual role as Leah, and the younger character Tarf, finding the latter more dynamic to voice. Chisa Yokoyama, the voice of Lilia, describes the character as physically weak but mentally strong, and touches on Lilia's popularity, explaining her approach to expressing the character's feelings through the script. All 3 share insights into their roles and the unique experience of lending their voices to this classic game brought to the Sega Saturn. The next page continues the voice recording session interviews for Falcom Classics 2 on the Sega Saturn. This time, we hear from the actors behind several other key characters from YSI and YS2. Kaneto Shiosawa discusses his role as the iconic antagonist Dark Fact, while Norio Iwamoto shares his experience voicing Dales. Nobuhiko Kazama talks about playing Keith, and Makiko Omoto lends her voice to both Maria and Jeba. Kenji Nojima covers the roles of Tarf, Ruta, and Genma, and Nobuyuki Hiyama speaks on portraying Goban. The actors offer insights into their characters and the process of voicing these classic RPG heroes and villains for the Saturn. The page also prominently features the announcement that the Falcom Classics collections, featuring Dragon Slayer, Xanadu, YS, and YS2, are now available as part of the Sega Saturn Collection budget line, making these timeless games more accessible to players. Finally, there's a special giveaway for a signed item from Chisa Yokoyama, the voice of Lilia, featured on the previous page. This page reports on the highly anticipated Sakura Taisen Song Show Volume 2, titled Wings, featuring the Imperial Theater's Flower Division. The show, held at the Tokyo Welfare Pension Hall, was a massive success, packed with over 2,000 enthusiastic Sakura Wars fans daily. The energy was palpable, lasting for 3 glorious hours that flew by quickly. The page breaks down the show's composition, which included an opening, 2 acts separated by an intermission, an ending, a grand finale, and an encore. The performance showcased the Flower Division characters, including Sakura Shinguji and Sumire Kanzaki, dancing gorgeously on stage. A narrative element was woven in, featuring a plot point where the characters dealt with a stolen safe from Imperial Theater manager Iki Yoneda's room, with Iris Chateaubriand using her powers to help recover it. The show truly lived up to its name, with individual character songs and interactive moments like audience clapping. The page also highlights exclusive merchandise sold only at the venue, which included fans featuring illustrations, mug cups, glasses, a set of 6 posters depicting the Flower Division's summer outfits, and special limited edition t-shirts. These goods were popular and quickly sold out, already gaining premium value. The page features photos of the live performances, character illustrations for the Tsubasa show, likely referencing the narrative theme or a key song, and fans queuing to purchase merchandise. The next page continues the coverage of the successful Sakura Taisen Song Show Volume 2, Wings. It dives into specific scenes from the performance, detailing moments like the Flower Division's emergency meeting after the safe is stolen, Sakura's investigation scene where she breaks into song, Kaide's solo dance segment where she confronts villains, Sulingmeyer's elegant dance, and Lenny and Maria's rooftop duet. The page also highlights the special guest appearance of the Rose Division members, Kyoin and Rokusuke, who performed enthusiastically. The grand finale is described as the show's climax, bringing together the main cast, guests, and orchestra for the song Continuation of Dreams, with the Kubukai also making an appearance to thrill the audience. Beyond the performance details, the page shifts focus to related merchandise. Featured items include a replica of the dance umbrella used on stage, a Sakura-themed music box that plays Continuation of Dreams, and the soundtrack CD for the Sakura Taisen, Uka Kenrun OVA. There are also smaller goods highlighted, such as telephone card sets, opera glasses, light sticks, Sialooms, a show pamphlet, and sticker sets. Finally, the page includes information on a contest, explaining how fans could apply via postcard to win some of these items, listing the necessary details and mailing address for entry. This page of the weekly official corner from Sega AM2 R&D Express is all about the high-octane action of Daytona USA 2. Battle on the Edge. The big news is a championship event scheduled for August 29, 1998 to crown the true Daytona champion in Shinjuku. The page provides key details for aspiring racers, including the date, time, location at Shinjuku Sportsland, the entry fee, and the participation limit of 64 drivers. It outlines the race format, involving qualifying heats and a final, emphasizing the competitive structure. Daytona USA 2 is highlighted as a highly fur-rated racing game operating on the powerful Model 3 Step 2 hardware, capable of supporting up to 16 players simultaneously. The excitement of battling opponents on the track is a major draw. An urgent scoop announces that this official tournament is happening soon, promising an atmosphere like a real stock car race, complete with race queens on site. Finally, the page showcases a selection of the impressive lineup of 64 drivers and their sponsored cars featured in the game. It gives a glimpse of the diverse designs and sponsors, like Dinosaur, TSN Wrench, StarMake, Petrol Oil, Morrison's, Timco Tool, and Vantage Ground, hinting at the variety players can expect on the track. It looks like it's going to be an epic summer event for Daytona fans. The next page of the weekly official corner continues the dive into Daytona USA 2. Specifically offering crucial strategies for players aiming to win the tournament. The guide provides essential tips across 5 checkpoints. It details how to achieve the fastest times in the qualifying heat by navigating traffic skillfully and preparing for the intense stock car battles in the final heat on the intermediate and advanced courses. A key technique highlighted is the rocket start, vital for getting an early lead. The page also strongly recommends the Phantom Racing Mount as the player car of choice, detailing its high power output and acceleration, while noting the need to manage its challenging grip. Mastering the gear drift technique is emphasized as a must-have skill for navigating corners, and is presented as a tournament essential. A helpful tip from AM2 R&D director Makoto Osaki stresses that finding the absolute fastest racing line, and then pushing it even further, is the key to victory. The page concludes by showcasing many of the rival cars and their various sponsors, encouraging players to dominate the competition on the track. This page kicks off a special program focused on Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, specifically detailing crucial combat mechanics. The first lesson dives into understanding the down status, which occurs when your Virtroid is knocked over by heavy attacks like melee or large damage lasers. Screenshots illustrate a Virtroid on the ground after being hit, marking the transition into this state. The guide then discusses getting back up, highlighting Invincible Get Up, where your Virtroid is briefly invulnerable. It explains that while simply standing up offers this invincibility, performing other actions immediately upon getting up is also possible but lacks the protection. A list details which actions are possible while getting up, such as shooting or certain dashing moves, and which are impossible, like walking or guarding. The overall strategy emphasized is leveraging the invincibility period effectively after being downed. The This Week menu section indicates future coverage on specific Virtroids, listing the Ball series, Cypher, APHARMDB, Angelin, and Raiden, promising detailed analysis of their capabilities. This page continues the deep dive into Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram combat, focusing on the crucial technique of Way, or follow-up attacks, executed after knocking an opponent down, and explains that these attacks are only possible once the opponent is in the down state, and generally recommends using high damage attacks for this purpose, noting that the damage applied is slightly less than a normal hit. A key tactical consideration is presented. While follow-up attacks add damage, sometimes it's better to let the opponent recover quickly to set up a different attack, especially when conserving weapon gauge is important. The guide also clarifies that Varmar is depleted just as much by follow-up attacks as by normal ones, suggesting players weigh whether damage or Varmar depletion is the priority. The page then transitions into Virtuoroid-specific strategies for attacking an opponent during their recovery phase, breaking down tactics by close and long range. It provides recommendations for various machines, including Temujin, Raiden, Grisbach, Cypher, Angelin, Dordre, Fei-NKN, the Balsaries, APHARMDS, and Spacine F, offering tailored advice on how best to apply pressure and secure advantages as the opponent gets back on their feet. This section emphasizes that mastering machine-specific recovery attacks is essential for effective play. Screenshots illustrate moments where follow-up attacks are being executed against downed opponents.
This page continues the Virtualan Oratorio Tangram analysis, this time focusing in detail on the Barbatos machine's unique technique, the pyramid cage. It explains that this move traps the opponent, preventing them from leaving the area and blocking attacks from outside. A key aspect is the placement of the ERL units upon activation, which is crucial for the trap's effectiveness, though their initial positions can be unpredictable until the first attack. The guide highlights that attacks from inside the cage are still possible. The report then discusses the issue of the incomplete pyramid, a version lacking the opponent trapping ability. It details how certain setups or timings can lead to this incomplete state, and provides methods and reliable combos, illustrated with screenshots, to ensure a successful, complete pyramid cage formation. Mastering the timing and specific attack sequences, like those involving sliding or dashing CW attacks, is presented as essential for reliable execution of this powerful trap. This page continues the in-depth look at Barbatos in Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, exploring its intricate multifunction systems beyond the pyramid cage. It delves into the tactical uses of the left weapon, LW, right weapon, RW, and center weapon, CW, functions tied to its unique ERL units. The guide highlights the right leg, ERL's unique rolling and floating mine attacks, noting how the floating mine is a particularly tricky tracking weapon. It then moves on to strategies for utilizing deployed ERL remotely, emphasizing placement in open areas or high positions to control the opponent's movement and set up attacks from unexpected angles, like a lethal ring laser strike from behind. Mastering remote ERL control is key to dominating the flow of battle. Further discussion covers follow-up tactics for the Reflect Laser 2, a potent move likely integrated with ERL manipulation. Finally, the page introduces Barbaros, the underwater Barbatos variant. It reveals that Barbaros features significantly boosted melee attack power and faster movement, especially its dash attacks, making it a surprisingly powerful and distinct machine compared to its standard counterpart. This detailed breakdown shows just how deep the tactical possibilities are with Barbatos and its variations. This page continues the deep dive into the various virtuoids of Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, focusing on Angelin. The core mechanic discussed is her unique transformation, where she deploys wings. Activating this requires a specific input, both levers inward plus start, and leaves her completely vulnerable for about 4 seconds while the wings extend. The primary benefit of this transformation is a massive increase in movement speed and dash distance, making Angelin incredibly agile, capable of crossing the entire stage rapidly. However, other aspects like turning, jumping, and standard weapon functions remain unchanged. Crucially, the transformation also changes her turbo melee attacks. Instead of knocking opponents down, they stun and allow Angelin to absorb health from the target. The guide recommends using the center weapon, CW, turbo melee, during this state for the best damage and health absorption balance. Mastering the transformation involves timing it safely, ideally when the opponent is downed, to minimize the risk of being hit during the vulnerable startup. Once transformed,
The guide advises constant movement and aggressive offense for the approximately 20-second duration. Effective follow-ups include using the enhanced mobility to get behind the opponent for a freeze with right turbo RW, followed by a close-range turbo melee CW attack, or adapting to left turbo RW if they guard. A key finding is that despite appearances, Angeline is not invincible during the wing deployment phase. Being hit will cause damage and cancel the transformation. This page continues the analysis of Virtual on Oratorio Tangram Virtuoids, diving into Cypher, Raiden, and APHARMDB/S. First up is Cypher, specifically its transformation into fighter jet mode, activated with a double jump and the start button. This transformation, a nod to the Viper 2, changes its movement dramatically. While turning speed decreases, the horizontal slide and hover capabilities offer unique, evasive, and positioning options. The biggest benefit is the compact form, and the left weapon becoming a powerful 4-split homing beam. While its landing can be vulnerable, mastering its unique feel is key, especially in CPU battles. Next is Raiden's drastic full armor purge, triggered during jump ascent with the start buttons. This strips Raiden down, reducing its health to about 1/10, but granting an explosive boost in speed, allowing it to instantly close distance on faster opponents. Though incredibly risky due to the health reduction, it provides brief invincibility upon activation, useful for dodging certain attacks and seizing the initiative. Finally, APHARMDB/S has a timed performance up effect, activated by using the center weapon during a jump descent. This temporary boost enhances dash distance, attack power, and reduces damage taken. While the exact triggers can be finicky, skilled players can exploit the resulting landing delay to their advantage. The analysis notes these unique abilities add layers of strategy to each Virtuoid. This page reveals a brand new arcade title from Sega's renowned AMR&D division, Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. Set to launch in arcades this winter, this game is a 3D shooting experience based on the original Star Wars film trilogy, covering episodes I, V, A New Hope, V, The Empire Strikes Back, and V, Return of the Jedi. The page features dramatic imagery of X-Wings battling TIE fighters in space, hinting at the game's action-packed gameplay. The article highlights the game's focus on iconic scenes from the films, allowing players to step into the shoes of the heroes. You'll get to engage in thrilling dogfights, pilot a snowspeeder against massive Atwalkers on Hoth, and even face off against Darth Vader's in intense lightsaber duels. Running on the powerful Sega Model 3 arcade board, the game promises high-quality real-time CG visuals and immersive sound. A message from the AM Division staff expresses their passion for capturing the magic of Star Wars and fulfilling a long-held dream for the developers, aiming to create a definitive Star Wars gaming experience. This page continues the discussion about Sega's upcoming arcade title, Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. The main feature delves into the game's design, describing it as a 3D shooter, where players pilot various starships from the original trilogy, not just the iconic X-Wing. It highlights that while you control the aiming reticle, the ship follows a predetermined path, allowing for a focus on immersive action drawn directly from memorable scenes across the 3 films. The article mentions stages based on the movies, with branching paths and dramatic sequences built in. It also takes a moment to fondly recall Sega's previous Star Wars arcade title, Star Wars Arcade, released 4 years prior on the Model 1 board, noting its unique cooperative play, where one player piloted and the other acted as the gunner. Separately, the page includes a report on the World Rally Cars Fair 1998 event, featuring displays of rally cars, demo runs by professional drivers, and a replica car contest, showcasing the excitement of the rally world. The information from AM Division section confirms that Star Wars Trilogy Arcade is indeed their next major project, aiming to be a definitive science fiction gaming experience, with development progressing towards a winter release. This page is an announcement for the official guidebook for Cyber Troopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram. The guide, scheduled for release in early September 1998 with an estimated price of 1,500 yen and spanning 224 A5-sized pages, aims to teach basic strategies for each Virtuoid in the game. Designed for players new to the series starting with Oratorio Tangram, it clearly explains the 11 usable machines, detailing their controls and attack techniques. It also includes essential strategies for battling the CPU, and features an interview with Virtua Levelon producer Juro Watari. The character design is credited to Hajime Katoki. This page features a weekly horoscope section titled, This Week's Fortune Telling by Hakozaki's Mother, covering the period from August 28th to September 10th. It includes a highlight for the Lucky Person of the Week, which prominently features Utena Tenju from the acclaimed anime series Revolutionary Girl Utena, accompanied by a screenshot likely from the SEGA Saturn game adaptation. This section suggests Utena is at a critical juncture and advises focus. The page also includes general luck ratings for money, health, work/study, and love. The main content consists of horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs. Each sign's fortune is presented for both males and females, accompanied by charming illustrations representing the sign and indicating its overall luck level for the week. These horoscopes offer brief advice and mention lucky items or actions tailored to each sign, providing readers with personalized guidance for the upcoming 2 weeks. The inclusion of Revolutionary Girl Utena content strongly links this feature to ongoing promotions or interest surrounding the game released for the console. This page features the reader-submitted Peek of Secret Techniques corner, highlighting hidden tips and tricks for SEGA Saturn games, complete with a ranking system offering rewards like Saturn software and book tokens for accepted submissions. The main focus is on unlocking options in Radiant Silvergun. You can gain access to stage select, game speed change, hitmark display, and player speed change in the option menu by simply accumulating playtime. 3 hours unlocks the first set, 12 hours expands them, and playing for 48 hours or more makes the full range available. The page also covers Grandia Digital Museum, specifically revealing secret modes for its minigames. For Eating King, connecting a 2P controller before starting unlocks a 2P battle mode. For Man's Hot-Blooded 10 Billion Match 100, inputting a specific command on the title screen grants access to a batting practice mode perfect for honing your skills without ranking consequences. Finally, the section includes a call for readers to submit their own secret techniques for any Saturn software, detailing how to send in submissions for a chance to be featured and rewarded based on the tip's usefulness.
This page features the SEGA Saturn Weekly Software Review, focusing on games releasing between late August and early September. Multiple reviewers, including female users, staff writers, and guest writers, offer their perspectives on upcoming titles. The main spotlight is on Slayers Wonderful, the second game, based on the popular Slayers anime and novels. This RPG is reviewed with screenshots, difficulty rating, normal, and an average score around 67 out of 10. Reviewer comments highlight changes from the previous game, noting issues with gameplay tempo, increased difficulty due to changes in the battle system, moving from a control to turn-based, and a feeling that some of the original charm was lost. One reviewer appreciated the amount of content, while another found the flow less smooth than its predecessor. Also featured is a new software and peripheral check on Final Edition. This appears to be a re-release or updated package of a popular trap adventure game, now including extras like soundtrack creds and drama creds, making it a good value. A screenshot shows a female character on train tracks. Finally, the page briefly touches on this month's SATURN lineup for August, highlighting budget re-releases of various genres including a ghost story game, a mech combat title, a railroad adventure, and a board game adaptation. The reviewer profiles at the bottom give a little insight into their personal gaming tastes. This page features a reader giveaway section, inviting SEGA Saturn fans to participate for a chance to win various prizes. The main event is the Reader Present campaign, offering items related to recent and upcoming Saturn titles. Prizes include SEGA Saturn software itself, with 20 winners receiving a game of their choice from titles released by the September 11th deadline. Also available are items for specific games. 3 lucky readers can win the official guidebook for the unique RPG Vash R and OUML Bider, described as the only guide needed to master the game, and it even includes an original postcard. Fans of the simulation game How to Become a Sorceress have a chance to win one of 15 posters featuring charming character art. For strategy RPG enthusiasts, 3 Langrisser v. The End of Legend paperbacks featuring artwork by Satoshi Urushibara are being given away. Finally, 5 winners will receive a t-shirt for the survival horror adventure Deep Fear, perfect for surviving a hot summer. The page also lists the magazine's staff and includes a call for freelance writers interested in contributing to the publication, particularly those with expertise in specific game genres or hardware. Contact information is provided for inquiries regarding the magazine's content, specifying available hours. The winners from the previous issue's giveaway are also listed, showing who received prizes like SEGA Saturn software, Deep Fear t-shirts, and other game-related merchandise.
This page prominently features the SEGA Saturn logo, accompanied by the confident statement that the SEGA Saturn can still go on strong. The focus then shifts to upcoming game releases from NEC Interchannel. Featured are 2 titles with visual previews and release details. First up is Black/Matrix. Presented with anime character art, scheduled for release on August 27th at a suggested retail price of 6,800 yen, excluding tax. This release is noted as being produced only for initial orders. The second game highlighted is Friends, Seishun no Kagayaki, also featuring anime character artwork, slated for an autumn 1998 release. This title will be a 2-disc set with a suggested retail price of 7,200 yen, excluding tax. The page also includes contact information for NEC Interchannel Corporation. This page features a dramatic preview for the upcoming game D2. The bold tagline, "Something terrifying lies beneath the frozen soil in Canada, and now it is awake," sets a chilling tone. The large red D2 logo dominates the right side, accompanied by the important note, "Coming in winter, D2 runs under Dreamcast." The main text provides a synopsis of the game's horror story, set in Canada during Christmas 1999. The protagonist, Laura, experiences a strange encounter on an aircraft involving a vision of a gigantic meteorite and terrorists. The plane crash lands, and Laura is rescued by a woman named Kimberly. She wakes up in a snowy mountain hut and soon encounters dreadful mutants or monsters. The narrative poses questions about the cause of the accident and how people transformed into monsters, promising that the mystery will be unveiled as terrifying events unfold. This preview, from developer Warp Inc., indicates Sega's future direction, highlighting a significant title planned for their next console, the Dreamcast, even within the pages of a SEGA Saturn magazine. The masthead on the right confirms this is the September 18, 1998 issue, referencing other major SEGA titles like Sonic Adventure.